Yeah. Oh, no. You most certainly can.
I look ridiculous.
All right, so a little bit of transparency here. I fucked up. Oh man, I did it again. I cursed in the opening segment.
You gotta beep it out. You gotta beep it out.
All right, so I messed up. We recorded about 10 or 12 minutes already, and there was absolutely no sound.
No sound.
And
No
so
sound.
that's why we're here just looking all odd. And so just a little backstory. Dashing D was cold. We were paying homage to our year of potting, which we'll get into in a second. And then we paused everything, and she went and got the Leopard and the shades from when she was the king of R&B.
No, I am the king of R&B.
My bad, player.
I am
And
the king of R&B.
we're going to get to it.
Yeah.
And we started talking about all this cool stuff, and I realized, hey, wait a second. I don't think the mic is recording the way it's supposed to be. And so, yeah, I missed it. Maybe we'll put it out on socials.
Yeah.
Just so you can see what was happening, because you won't in this episode. And so more reasons to go to our socials. Ha, 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 ha.
Also, Chris, should we fire Chris for this?
I just said it was my fault.
Uh,
How you going to fire Chris?
I've just been looking for
We going to tell them who Chris really is? Now that it's
No.
been a year?
No.
Okay.
No, Chris is our intern.
You're right about that.
Who fucks shit up. And I don't mean that in a good way.
Don't start. All right, so welcome back. This is the Let's Have a Real Conversation podcast featuring,
I'm Dashing D,
and I am JD, aka He Who Pods.
a.k.a. Jaja Gabor.
I'm Jasha Gabor.
No, I am.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute, when did I become that? I didn't know that was my name. Oh,
No,
you're,
that's
you are. Go ahead, let them know again.
You can call me Jaja.
Okay, there it is, folks. So, thank you for watching and listening. We've been here a year
I don't
now.
wanna be that white woman.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a person. I thought you made that up.
No, she's a real person.
Look
I
at
mean,
that.
I'm pretty sure she's dead, but she was a real person.
I see. You learn something new every day.
Of course.
I didn't even know.
Google her and you'll understand what's exactly.
Cruella DeVille vibes?
Sort of. I could see the connection. I mean, she probably wasn't wearing a Whitney Houston t-shirt,
Probably not.
but the shades, the coat,
The fur.
the whole get up.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got a lot to get into, but first we want to say thank you for being here and enduring with us and, being patient with us. And it's been a year now. And so thank you for being here for this year. We went from my brown couch to the closet. And now we're here with a whole new setup. As you can see, we're still trying to figure shit out.
On the blue couch.
On the blue velvety couch.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see we got some more lighting today. And you can see the Peter Pan shadow in the background,
Make sock puppets.
Sock puppets and stuff, you know. So, we're still trying to figure out the new setup a little bit, trying to give y'all a better visual presentation. And so bear with us. And if you like it, let us know in the comments. If you hate it, let us know in the comments.
No.
You know?
Probably not gonna
if
change
you-
it for you, but let us know.
And so I'm here with the king of R&B.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
And so right before the mics messed up, we were talking about Chris Brown.
Yeah. So the Grammys happened, which we will
get into, but I heard there was a little bit of a snafu with Chris Brown at the Grammys.
So Chris Brown was nominated. I don't remember what category it was that he was nominated for, but when he didn't win, he took to social media. He went to his Instagram stories and was really shady to Robert Glasper, who won.
Oh.
Robert Glasper is
A legend.
huge. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
If you know anything about jazz,
Yeah. Just music in general.
Music in general, but specifically jazz, right? So what I was saying, and I did preface it by saying that I know that sometimes I stop myself from speaking about Chris Brown because I feel like, I apologize for him a little bit.
You're a Chris Brown apologist.
Yeah. The way I see it is, it was fucked up what he did. But the way I see it is Chris Brown doesn't do a whole lot. Chris Brown doesn't seek out new music. Chris Brown doesn't... I think Chris Brown just makes music. He colors on the walls. He hangs out with his kids.
Right.
And then the people he knows. Like, King Combs and the rest of them. I don't think that he is tapped in at all to what is going on in the world outside of his bubble.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not saying that's okay. He's a 30-something-year-old man. You should be...
Chris Brown is in his 30s?
Chris Brown is our age.
I'd be swearing Chris Brown is like 10 years younger than me. But that's because I'm also 86 in my head. Like 105.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm 65. So...
Yeah, I'm way older than you.
I understand. But... No, Chris Brown is either a year older or a year younger. I can't remember.
That's gangster.
Yeah. So he should have just shut up. He should have just shut up. The same way he should have shut up during the Super Bowl.
Oh, he said something during the Super Bowl? This one?
The one, yeah.
The one like last night?
The one last night that we're going to get into? Yes, when his ex was performing, he posted in his stories, "Go girl," with a heart.
No, that's okay.
It's okay, but it's like,
okay?
Here's the thing, right?
Because they pieced it up. They're cool. They got records together after that.
They pieced it up, but I just feel like...
He didn't say, like, I want you back or something.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that Chris Brown is known to, like, bother the girls later on after the fact, right? He's known for that. And I'm not saying he was doing that. He was obviously wasn't bothering her. He was praising her. But also, he could praise her away from us.
Like in her text messages?
Like in her text messages, like to his friends, to people they know mutually. However he wanted to do it, I think would have been fine. I think that Chris Brown, I don't know, like has these moments where he's like, I'm gonna talk to everybody because I'm bored.
They gotta know.
That's
mad funny.
And again, I feel like, and I don't think he's the only person like this. I feel like he's living in a bubble. I feel like a lot of celebrities live in a bubble.
I get it.
And they can't really get out of their bubble. They can only get out of their bubble so much. When Chris Brown used to try to get out of the bubble, all types of things would happen. Like people would break into his house and whatever. So we don't really want him doing that at this point. But I do feel like you could have just like sent a little message or sent an email. Niggas love to send you an email when y'all don't speak no more. They love because if you block them over text or they can't reach you over social media, dudes love to send you an email. Just on some random shit. Hey.
This is the second pod back to back that I'm learning something about men that I didn't know because I'm straight up oblivious to that.
Men do this.
They be emailing the exes.
They be emailing.
Wow. Maybe I'm the one in the bubble.
Maybe.
Speaking of which, wasn't there a movie called Bubble Boy?
I think so.
With I'm so bad with actors' names.
I think Bubble Boy was an actual story though, right? Wasn't it based on a true story?
I think so. What's the movie? What's this guy? He just came back. He's in the movie Whale. He was nominated for an Oscar.
Brendan Fraser?
He was the star of the movie.
Was he? I remember Bubble Boy, but
Check it.
But I'm not sure.
Bubble Boy movie. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see it?
I did.
Of course you did.
You know what? I'm a movie watcher.
I know. That's why I said.
Yeah, Brandon Fraser, right? That's his name?
Mm-hmm. Brendan Fraser.
Brandon.
Bubble Boy, 2001.
Yeah!
Oh, but I don't think that's who it was. It says, a coming-of-age comedy follows the life of Jimmy Livingston, Jake Gyllenhaal, a young man born without immunities and raised in a manufactured world provided by his well-intentioned but misguided mother.
Yep.
But when he realizes that he's in love with Chloe, the girl next door, he has no choice but to build a mobile bubble suit and set off across the country to Niagara Falls.
I think we got the name of our episode.
Chloe's wedding. Bubble Boy. Mm-hmm. Which is only 7 days away in time to confess his love. Oh,
so is Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I got my whites confused. Shame on you.
You got, but that happens to me all the time. If
Don't worry, I won't tell you.
Oh, you don't have to tell. If they just go to Harley, it's well documented on Harley Mind My Business that I mix up white people all the time. Okay.
That shit was hilarious. I'm just going to... Can I tell them real quick?
You can tell them.
Some little cross promo. Yo, she got an episode where she talks about the movie The Menu. I'm not even going to tell y'all who she thought was in the movie. Y'all go check out her podcast and you'll learn about the mishaps.
And
man, that shit tickled me.
I almost never post to my personal Instagram page, and that was the week I was like, oh, I'm gonna talk about this movie on my personal page. I'm gonna cue it up so that people go to the podcast. People were in my DMs like, girl, I don't know who you think you saw, but you did not see them.
Yo, that shit was funny as hell.
It was.
Oh my god!
It
Hopefully
was.
Came out my
It was because
that would have been the best pod moment ever. That would have been the one. Yo, y'all was hitting me up about the fire, huh? Y'all was digging that. We gotta do more social specific content because Cats was hitting me on the DMs, the text messages, online.
I actually have more footage from the
We gotta post it. We gotta post it. What's funny is exactly what I spoke about last episode, giving TikTok props about. It happened again. Yeah. I put up the video about the fire, and TikTok immediately took it down. I was like, appeal, and they were like, "Hey, man, our bad. You right. That could stay up."
You know what I saw the other day on TikTok though, and it kind of made me think of that and how robots essentially run our world in a way.
It's about to happen.
I saw someone I follow was on a solo trip.
Okay.
And it said something like, I don't know if it was a get ready with me or whatever, or it was, I think it was something like get ready with me for my solo trip to wherever the person went. Do you know that there was a little warning sign at the bottom that said, doing this activity may end up in harming you or something like that? Oh yeah,
a lot of the social media platforms are adding that because there's a lot of things that they're trying to reduce their liability.
Of course.
So there's a lot of warnings, and now they're putting sensitive content labels on things.
I've seen a lot of
even
that
YouTube.
lately.
Someone sent me a video, which I don't even know why this had it. It was so weird. But before I could watch the video, I had to say that I was okay with watching sensitive and possibly harmful content, and that I was older than 18. I was like, what the fuck is that? They didn't send me a porno. It's YouTube.
But that was the thing. I was like, this is a travel video. But and she wasn't doing anything crazy. She was in the mirror, in the bed.
Yeah, the video we took outside in front of the fire truck is what they took down from TikTok.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what's going on. You can't see fire. I'm not on fire. It was weird.
No. But we said the word fire, so I guess they're
like, oh no, take it down.
Right, that's all they needed. And I get it. There's been a lot of things that have streamed or been on social media that
there's been murders on Facebook Live.
Right. So that's why I get it, but it was so weird. I had never seen that before.
Yeah. So should we start with the Grammys since we already kind of mentioned them?
Yeah, the Grammys. There's a lot to say here.
There is.
The Grammys. Oh well, before we get into the Grammys, we do have one sad
piece of news.
It
is sad.
You want to deliver the news?
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I don't either. A member of De La Soul passed away. I believe it's Trugoy.
That's how you pronounce it as well.
Yeah, but he was 54 years old.
It's really sad. And we've discussed it off mic. I've discussed it on one of my other pods. It's really sad that we continue to lose our people, our heroes, our legends at such a young age. And we need to be more health conscious as a populace, but really as Black folks. I know that the entertainment industry is filled with parties and drugs and good times. But we need to be really conscious of our health. 54 is like half of our life. And, we really need to be conscious of these things. And it's sad, to be clear. I'm not blaming. I'm not shaming. I'm sad about it. Their music just got on the streaming websites. They've had a lot of legal battles and financial troubles. And it's sad that right when things turned around, he passes.
Yeah.
And so, it's sad. Rest in peace. My condolences to his family. My condolences to the members of De La Soul. I can't imagine what they're going through right now. It's crazy shit. And, I just think that, I hope that we begin to look at ourselves and really start putting a microscope on what we're doing, what we're putting in our bodies, and how we are treating ourselves internally and externally, because it really makes a difference. And, it's sad seeing our people drop like flies at such young ages.
Yeah.
So that's all I got on that. You got anything you want to add?
No, that was well said.
Thanks.
I mean, it is sad, and it's also kind of weird because I don't know. It makes me think about my parents are not that much older than that.
Same.
So
yeah,
that kind of freaks me out a little bit when I hear about these people.
My dad turns 57 in May.
Yeah, and like my mom is about to turn 60, so but she would, it's a good thing she doesn't listen to because she's probably going to be like, excuse me?
Why are you telling my business?
Who told you could say that to the public?
Right.
Okay. But yeah, it's kind of scary. My dad is not much older than my mom. And it's like, and it's not even just people in their 50s, right? It doesn't matter. Like, it's people in their 30s, people in their 40s. Like, it feels so close to home. It feels like something you can touch, and that's always very scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, prayers to his family and all the people who knew him. It's just really sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one, I saw that and I was like,
yeah, someone texted me about it while I was watching the Super Bowl. And I was like, damn. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So Grammys.
So the Grammys.
Lots to talk about there.
Yeah.
Where would you like to start?
Where would I like to start?
Come on, showrunner.
Listen. All right, we're gonna go a little all over the place with the Grammys.
Definitely,
because there's a lot to get to, but some things I think are like less to talk about than others.
Okay, well, you got it figured out or not yet?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Go ahead.
I think I got it.
I was gonna jump in, but go ahead.
So let's start with DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled,
which also kind of takes us to another piece of the Grammys. So DJ Khaled,
he went 0 for 6.
0 for 6. He did not win a Grammy.
I said on this pod, I think, that Khaled was probably going to clean up at the Grammys. I'm pretty sure I said.
I'm pretty sure you did say that.
But
and I'm pretty sure you were wrong.
Oh, I mean, 0 for 6, clearly. I mean, when you see something like that, it's like, oh, he's going to clean house. He ain't clean shit.
I hope he cleaned up that table that they had all that food on for the Goddard performance.
The pre-recorded performance?
Oh, okay, so let's get to it. Because, I thought this was going to be our biggest Grammy topic, but it's really not. It's really not. And...
Wait, are we going to talk about Khaled losing more, or are we going to talk about the Goddard performance?
I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about Khaled losing. He lost.
A lot.
A lot.
I'm shocked.
Right.
Were you shocked? Because I just knew Khaled was winning at least half of those.
About it, when I was watching it, and I watched the Grammys when it aired, I watched it from beginning to end.
Ooh,
I don't know what came over me. Honestly, I'm going to be real honest. I didn't have anything else to watch, and I didn't feel like getting up. So I just stayed in one spot, and I watched
What says zone.
That was me. I wasn't really locked into DJ Khaled at the Grammys. I didn't really think about it much until you said that he didn't win.
Yeah, 0 for 6.
I was more concerned about the ladies at the Grammys, and we'll get there. But I think I knew what I was watching for, I guess.
Performances.
Performances.
Beyonce.
Beyonce, we knew that Beyonce was about to break a record, which we'll get to.
We'll get there.
But, yeah, I just feel like I was just kind of in it just to be there. I said, oh, I got my ticket to the Grammys, let me attend.
Right, on the couch.
And that's what I did.
Right from home.
Right from home.
Right.
And
you didn't have to pay $2,000.
I did not.
Did you notice how much it cost?
Yes, I heard. And I
found that out recently.
I was shocked. I was shocked. I said, oh, okay, so, not only are you going to win.
A lot of people I thought would win lost. It's really interesting.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But I think that speaks to what we speak about all the time, where
politics as usual.
Yeah, it's not, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gotta be cool with it, or there's a lot of people saying that certain people should never attend the Grammys again. I guess we'll get there, but listen, while we're on DJ Khaled.
Yes, so the Goddard performance
was the closer.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It was the closer.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you why I got excited about the performance. Because I was excited, at least for a little while. And then I was kind of like, I don't know. I was excited because Jay-Z and Beyonce are known to not attend the Grammys.
Correct.
And they were actually there.
Also correct.
Which, we'll get to part of that. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but
it's fine. We're gonna jump around. This is a double Dutch episode,
right? They were there. They arrived late. Apparently, they were in traffic. People know that LA traffic is notorious. Notoriously heavy. Sure. So, what I thought was funny. Oh, I just want to point out, Trevor Noah was a great host. I know he's hosted the Grammys before, and I don't typically watch the Grammys from beginning to end. Having watched it from beginning to end, I really didn't have any complaints about Trevor Noah.
I was digging his pink suit.
Yeah.
Salmon, whatever.
Yes, he looked good. But also, he was not too dry. He was not trying too hard. He was just the right amount of what he was.
Trevor Noah was great.
He is. I really enjoyed him as a host. I was like, I didn't even realize that
I can see him being their long-term host.
I think he's a good choice. He wasn't too, he's a safe choice. But that's okay, because a lot of hosts are good for part of the show and miss part of the show.
Yes.
That's not Trevor Noah.
No,
he is good throughout the entire thing. But I think that's because he's kind of just being himself, and he's not trying too hard to be funny or trying too hard to make jokes that don't land. And
yes, I agree.
So I really enjoyed him. the only time I felt like things fell flat wasn't really his fault, but it was when Jay-Z and Beyonce showed up, and he kind of like, I don't remember what the bit was that he did when they got there, but she looked completely disinterested in what was going on.
I can understand that. I didn't see that, but I can understand that.
Right.
So God did.
God didn't. So it was outside. Let me set the scene for you. I think you've seen it, right?
Yep.
It was outside, so it's like smoky. You could tell that the smoke machines are out in full effect. It's wet on the street. You can tell it's like in the middle of an LA street. There's this huge table covered in food.
Last Supper style.
The Last Supper, yes.
That was the theme.
That was the theme, which I loved. I enjoyed the theme.
Do you know who Jay-Z was with? The two people on his side. During the performance, he had people on either side of him.
Oh, is it not Lil Wayne and those guys?
No, he had Emery and what's his name? Juan with him.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was the end of the night, so at that point, I was,
all good.
I
got you.
But
you know who Emery is?
No.
Emery Jones is a guy who was locked up for many years. He's from Jay-Z's inner circle. There's a song about it as well, and he's a close friend of Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. If you ever listen to this Kingdom Come album, mm-hmm. there's a song where he dedicates a song to him. Okay. I think it's called Do You Want to Ride, featuring John Legend, if I'm correct. Anyway, Emery's his longtime friend, and as soon as he came home, he gave him millions of dollars and set him up with a company. He talks about him on another song, too, where he says he'd been locked up for 12 years. I can't remember the exact quote right now. Anyway, whatever. That's Emery. And then Juan is OG Juan, who he talks about on many songs. Okay. Those are the two people that were with him, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
On either side of the table.
I guess I wasn't even really paying attention to...
It's all good. I'm sorry. I cut you off, though. Okay.
No, it's fine. So obviously DJ Khaled was there. Rick Ross. Lil Wayne. And then Jay-Z. So when they got to Jay-Z, because that's the main event.
It is.
I mean, we talked about it here. I mean, and we championed every person on the song.
Sure did.
I did not champion John Legend, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I recall.
Yeah. So Jay-Z sat for the whole performance.
Yes.
Now here's what I will say, and here's why at first I was like, "Oh, he's doing great! Like I'm really excited," and it's because I was like, he's sitting there and he's cool, calm, and collected, and he's Jay-Z, and he's about to do this really long verse, and I kind of don't mind that he's sitting down doing the verse. But then at the end of it, like when it kind of settled in, and I thought about it, and then I learned that this was pre-produced, which made sense because he had just been inside where his wife, well, we'll get to that, but he had just been inside. Also, Colin had just been inside. And it wasn't, I don't think about these things as much as I've worked in television, and I still don't even, sometimes when I watch, I don't pay attention to some of these things. But someone on Twitter said, how did DJ Khaled get outside so fast? And I said, you know what? That's true.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. And then someone else pointed out that it was not raining that night in LA. It rained, I think, the night before or the morning of the Grammys.
Internet investigators.
Listen, the internet will let you know. The internet will make sure that you have not been made a fool of.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
So the conclusion that the internet came to was that was pre-recorded that morning.
Okay.
So, which is fine. I mean, it's not the hugest of deals.
It's not.
But for someone who is notoriously not in attendance, it would have been nice to get a live performance
from Hove.
From Hove. that was where I felt with that. It wasn't so much that it was a pre-recorded performance. We see that happen on award shows all the time. We saw it happen with Nicki Minaj at the VMAs a couple years ago when she performed in the Oculus at World Trade Center. There's a lot of performances that have happened that way, or a lot of performances where they've done it like in a satellite location and they just had an audience for that particular performance. We've seen a lot of that happen. So I wasn't necessarily mad at that. I just kind of felt like, wow, he's here, she's here. Like, this was a missed opportunity.
Okay.
Kind of how I felt about the Super Bowl, actually. But we'll get there.
Take it easy.
We'll get there. I did feel like there was a missed opportunity there as well. But anyway, we'll get there. Yeah, that was my thing about it. But I think, we love God did so much that
right.
I maybe would have taken it any way they would have given it to me.
I was just happy to see them all there.
Right. Because I didn't expect that.
I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen. I know, this was something that people were excited about. Mm-hmm. This is something that they were kind of like really pushing. Mm-hmm. And it makes total sense that they closed the show out with it. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't watch it live. I never watch these things, or very rarely. I will say, as someone who performs, it's a little harder to perform that kind of a verse sitting down. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was really interesting that Jay was able to do that. Mm-hmm. I think it speaks to, how talented he is and how seasoned he is. Because the way, I don't got to get into the science of it, but it's harder to kind of do that kind of a verse sitting down.
Because you have to breathe. Yeah,
because of breathing and, lung control and stuff like that. So I thought that was really fly. And, the Last Supper thing, Jay plays around a lot with religious symbols and tropes.
Yep.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And that's it. I didn't have much else. Jay-Z has never been known as the best performer. So I'd never have expectations of Jay-Z to be running around the stage or doing a backflip. That's not really where he shines. Not saying he doesn't have stage performance or stage presence, excuse me. But that's not what he's known for. There are people who they're known for jumping up and down and running around and crowd surfing and all of that. Not Jay-Z's bag. What I do think is great, and I think that as a fan of Jay-Z, anyone who's a fan of Jay-Z, you've seen this evolve over the years. One of the things I think Jay-Z has become very good at is finding ways to enhance the performance while still doing what he does. And so at one point, he was on tour with the Roots Band that added to his stage presence. I'm not going to give y'all a Jay-Z history lesson, but he's done a lot of other things to enhance the performance, both audio-wise and visually. And so I thought that was really cool. The Last Supper thing is definitely a statement in many ways. Yeah. And so I thought that was pretty fly. But I don't really have many critiques about the performance, to be honest.
Right. I didn't, I was, like I said, I was happy to see it. I was happy we got it.
Right.
I was happy they were in the same space to give it to us.
Right.
I think that was probably the coolest part of the performance because, again, I didn't think that they would all be there.
Yeah, I was curious if they would.
I thought at least one of them would have phoned it in.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they were together. I just, and I thought the concept was cool. I thought visually it was really cool.
Right.
But then, I did, because, I go on Twitter and I see what other people are saying. Not because I'm trying to formulate my own opinion, but I'm just curious what other people think. Mm-hmm. People be like, so he just going to sit down the whole time? It's a long-ass verse. Maybe he should sit down for a long time.
It would have been more entertaining if he wasn't.
If he got up, of course.
Listen.
But like you said, the last Jay-Z concert I went to, it was cool. But yeah, it wasn't, what he does is rap, right? And that's what you go to see. The other additional things, him moving around. I mean, he has that one little move that he likes to.
Dash cam.
He loves to,
Chris. Dash cam. Make sure the dash cam is on that.
He loves to grab the mic and kind of push. I don't know what he's pushing down, but he pushes something down. Like, that's his move. And he does that, and it's cool.
Can't wait to do the side by side of you and Hov doing the same move. Wow, what a time!
So, that's cool, and I guess what he brings to the table is swagger. You know what I mean? There's a difference between. I don't want to get into the region wars.
Let's just.
But I just want to point out, like, he's a New York rapper. He has a swagger about him on stage that kind of replaces the stage presence that you're talking about that some other people have. And that's kind of good enough for some people. That's all I'm saying.
Got it.
You understand what I'm saying, though, right?
Totally do.
Okay, because it's a thing.
I got it.
It's a thing, and he's not dancing, he's not doing anything particularly special. I remember someone saying the concert that I went to was a huge deal. It was when Barclays Center opened. And I remember someone being like, I don't even care about getting those stupid tickets, because if you've seen one Jay-Z concert, you've seen them all. And I was like, but this is Jay-Z in Brooklyn. You gotta go see it. But anyway, okay. Now I sound like you. So anyway, so that was God Did.
Right. So you want to get to the beehive of it all?
Oh,
not yet.
I mean, since we're there, let's leave Beyonce for last.
Okay.
Let's leave Beyonce for last. How about we talk about Dr. Dre?
I'm scared, but okay.
Why are you scared?
Because of something you said to me off mic.
Oh, that he beats women?
See, I knew it was coming. So, LL Cool J announces that Dr. Dre is winning an award. It's the Dr. Dre Award?
The Impact Award. The Dr. Dre Impact Award. Impact in hip-hop or something like that.
It's brought to you by the Black Music Collective, which I have never heard of and need to do research on. I was you either? Because I was like, I'm ashamed that I don't know who this is. Have I been living under a rock?
I didn't know who
Have I been slacking? I don't know who they are. And so if y'all know, put it in the comments and put me on. What do they do?
Right.
Because I'm going to do research. I need to know who they are, what they do. But anyway, the Black Music Collective and the Recording Association have put together this Impact Award, which is named after Dr. Dre. And the first winner is...
Dr. Dre.
Why?
What the fuck? That's what I said.
Why?
I was like, all right, first of all, known women beater. Second of all, why?
Dash cam.
I will double down on it. It is documented. Okay? We don't have to talk about it. I'm just saying, my only confusion is like, how you getting awards named after you?
But why you won your award?
Well, that's the other thing too.
Because that's what I was stuck on. I'm not going to comment on that first part. But
you don't have to. He's still going to be a woman beater whether you comment on it or not.
Where are the dresses? God.
Y'all not on lie. Y'all not on lie.
And so...
Look it up. Misha Lane.
You done or you finished?
All right, I'm done.
Thank you.
I'm done because I don't fuck with that. I don't like that at all. But okay. Hashtag protect black women. I'm sorry, but just okay. I'm done.
So he won his own award?
He won his own award. It didn't make any sense. It was
Why? Why isn't someone else winning the Dr. Dre Award?
Right, like
Because once they name it after you, that's the props. Like,
right. It shouldn't have been named after anybody, as far as I'm concerned.
and I'm cool with it being named after him, but then why is he winning it? Why didn't it go to anyone else?
Anyone else? There were a shit ton of rappers at the Grammys alone. One of them could have gotten it. Or one of the groups that performed could have gotten it.
Why did he win the Dr. Dre award? And why was it black?
All right, so I've heard this question, and I don't know. I have to look this up. But matter of fact,
Are there other black awards?
I think there are. I think when it's a special award, I think they're black. I don't think they're all gold. So I know that there's this question: is this racism? And I don't think it is.
I'm real curious because it's a little weird to see the black man with the black category, because that's what hip hop is looked at as by them, and then the actual trophy is black. I mean, I think black makes everything better. Let me be clear. But to give the black Grammy for the black category to the black man, it's a little like, what's going on right now? My political brain was like, hey, what's going on right here?
Maybe I'm wrong.
You don't see no black Grammys, huh?
But what color were they supposed to make it?
It should have been the same as all other fucking Grammys.
Well, I think they tried to distinguish between...
So it had to be black, huh?
I'm not saying it had to be black, but I also...
It could have been purple, yellow, red, green. Green, we know green is Dr. Dre's favorite color, you know? The Chronic.
I don't give a fuck about his favorite color.
I was making a joke.
I know.
I mean, there's a lot of colors. It could have been a rainbow. I mean, listen.
Black like them bruises.
So Beyonce, Beyonce didn't win album of the year. People are upset.
Yep.
There's more Grammy stuff, right?
Yes.
Oh, the tribute.
Oh yeah, we're getting there. That's next. So Dr. Dre wins his award. It's weird, and who knows? And I just tried to look it up quickly. No, I don't see any other Black Grammy awards, but I don't know why I feel like whenever they give a award that's like a Lifetime Achievement Award or something like that, I feel like it's black, but I could be completely wrong about that. I could be thinking about a completely different award show. That's all I have to say about Dr. Dre. I don't really have nice things to say.
I think you said enough.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Dr. Dre was not part of the 50-year hip hop tribute.
He was not.
That was weird.
Well,
actually, a lot of people who were at the Grammys were not part of the 50-year tribute.
Now, this is a rumor, and I don't know if you heard this. This is a rumor.
This whole episode about the dash cam. I think this was your pod, a solo episode.
This is a rumor, but I heard this on a podcast I was listening to, that people, and it's a rumor, but like I kind of trust people that live in LA because they be out there and they be amongst the people. So this is likely. But allegedly there were people who walked out during the tribute. So
I heard something similar. Mm-hmm. I heard LL stated afterwards. I saw this in more than one place, that LL said afterwards, because he was part of the people putting it together, mm-hmm. Him and the whole Rock the Bells situation he has, that there were people who refused to participate because of some of the other mm-hmm. people participating and long-standing beef, mm-hmm. and that also there were people who couldn't make it for one reason or another, / dropped out at the last second. And so they had to fill some spots very quickly.
Including?
I don't have an including.
Will Smith.
Oh, right.
Apparently Will Smith
couldn't get jiggy with it.
Because he's filming Bad Boys 4. This is the rollout. Because
I forgot about that one because I don't give a fuck about it.
Okay.
As much as I love getting jiggy with it and summertime, we didn't need.
Yeah,
we didn't need. I was about to say LL. We didn't need Will Smith up there.
We didn't need him, but I also feel like that addition to the conversation was more about Bad Boys 4 than it was about the Grammys.
And we also don't need Bad Boys 4.
I didn't even see Bad Boys 3.
Oh, if you want, that could be our movie segment. I would totally talk about Bad Boys 3 if you want.
Okay.
We could save that for when we get to film and TV. But yeah, Bad Boys 3, you didn't watch it? Well, you didn't miss anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was basically the announcement, though. And it appears to me like no one knew that Bad Boys 4 was really happening. I guess maybe there were talks that it might happen.
Well,
but
they announced it before the Grammys, to be real. They announced it about a week before the Grammys.
Right. So I think that this was in tandem with that announcement. It was, Will Smith can't make it because he's filming Bad Boys 4. Also,
yes.
And then there was also, he's not allowed to go to the Oscars, but he's going to the Grammys. Well, yeah, that's kind of how it works because he didn't do anything to the Grammys to upset them. So, completely different genre, by the way.
It's not even the same industry.
It's not the same industry. So,
so the 50-year tribute was very cool.
A lot of people were involved.
Very inclusive.
Sort of.
It was.
It was inclusive up to about...
Well, they had men, they had women, they had black and brown people of all shades and ages.
Oh, I was just talking about inclusive of rappers. After the year 2000,
there was a weird gap.
It was...
And it's been spoken about all over the internet, all over podcasts. There was a weird gap from the early 2000s till today. It's really weird. There was like a decade completely missing.
But even with where they ended off before they did the leap, there were things missing. Like, it went from The Lox to Little Baby.
Yes.
They gonna get me for calling him Little Baby. I don't give a fuck. The Lox, which... Give me more of The Lox.
Always.
But...
They got like half a hook.
Yeah. But everybody did. I think it was just the song choice for them that made it sound shorter than...
I can see that.
Then I don't think they got less time.
It was like, what you gonna do with your 40 seconds?
Right.
Or whatever. I get it. I was very happy to see Swiss waving the Rough Rider flag. Because at first I was like, the Rough Rider flag. That's dope. Oh, that's Swiss literally waving the Rough Riders flag. That was
amazing. But
I think they should have done at least a 10-second DMX song.
I think that would have been...
Or rather, at least 10 seconds of a DMX song.
Yeah.
I know he passed, but he was so impactful in hip-hop that I think we should have got something.
I agree with that. Or at least a song where he collabed with someone so they could, like, start it off and he could do... And then they could play his part or something like that. I do agree with you that he should have been involved. I'm like, where was the Migos? I mean, okay, I guess...
That was also spoken about.
They did
they did the tribute of the people passing, and I'm so bad with their names.
Offset and Quavo. Quavo was the one who did the tribute.
Right.
But
and then there was an incident after.
Allegedly.
It's not allegedly.
So it's been confirmed?
I will talk to you about it off mic, but there is aftermath. Yes.
Okay. I know that there was like video of Cardi, but they weren't sure if Cardi was really talking to them or not.
We talk about it off mic.
Okay. All right.
The 50-year tribute was very good, very interesting, but I do agree with the internet. That 10-year gap is really weird that it was not represented. I think that was a very big missed opportunity.
Yeah. And
I think, like, there is a lot of quality music in that 10-year gap.
Yeah.
And a lot of that really was weird to me. And I'm from New York, but if I was from down south,
right,
I'd probably be really pissed off.
But you could tell that Philly and New York did this.
Okay, cool, but
I'm not.
That 10-year gap.
I'm not saying. Like, I'm talking about the people who put it together.
Like, even if you just had Little John come out and go, yeah,
exactly. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm not saying that to say, I'm not saying that in support of what was done. I'm saying you can tell if you watch and if you know hip hop, you can tell people from Philly and New York did this.
Yes, it was definitely East Coast.
It was very obvious.
And
who did they have? Like Atlanta was a Lil Baby, and then
Big Boy was there.
Big Boy was there, and
had Scarface,
3000 wasn't there.
Yes, people are upset at 3000. I don't know why they should leave him in his flute alone.
Exactly, because when does 3000 comes out every couple of years when he feels like it.
I mean, or you just bump into him in Soho.
Right.
Like everyone does in their random pictures.
Yeah. So, if that man don't want to rap no more, leave him alone.
I mean, he's made that very clear.
Yeah, so it's, but I don't really know. It went from Locks to Little Baby to Glorilla, which...
Where are the dresses? Because I know what's coming. Go ahead. Sip water because... Is it safe to
Where the fuck was Nicki? Now that I'm thinking about it. Where was Nicki?
Nicki's part of that 10 years that we're talking about. So...
Glorilla. Where was Meg? Where was Megan Thee Stallion? I would have taken Megan Thee Stallion over Glorilla because I don't know what that was. I'm sure she's lovely, but I don't know what that was. I think, and I'm gonna shoot her some bail. I think that she was excited. I think that she went in there and tried to go really hard, and I think that it turned out to look like chaos rather than her getting on stage and just killing it. It looked to me like chaos. I was not into it at all. And then you have Lil Baby come out and I just want to rock.
That's not Lil Baby.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. Little Uzi.
About to say
you know I know who it is because we talked
about it. No, you know who it is. I had to save you because I'm like, if I let her do this, they're gonna kill her.
I was too busy getting ready to rock.
You was getting ready to rock, but rock with the wrong name. Yes. That was cool.
That was cool because apparently, he's an internet sensation now from this song. So
I mean, he was already the man.
He was already the man.
Even though I'm not a huge fan of him, he was already the man.
Right.
Clear.
I
know the song is super viral and super popular, but let's be clear, he was already the man before that.
And he didn't really do anything when he came out. All he did was stand there and go.
I mean, that's how some of the records are now.
I said, oh, okay. All right.
That's how some of the records are now.
No, okay, I get it. It's TikTok. And that is what LL said at the end of the whole big performance. He said from the Bronx
to TikTok and all over the world.
And I said, wow, what a time. What a time we have entered. I'm very concerned. I also think it was really lopsided. Like, if you're going to get the new kids to do stuff, it can't just be 3 of them. That didn't make sense to me. Even if you skipped a whole decade and went to this era of music, then this era of music deserved more than what they got. And
I can understand that.
I'm not even saying I love this era of music, but if I was the kids, I would be upset. If I was the city girl,
watch the Grammys?
Well,
I don't think the kids watch the Grammys.
And I think the bigger question is not, do the kids watch the Grammys?
Do the Grammys care that the kids are?
No. Do the kids even care about the OGs?
Oh, no. Because most of them make that very clear.
Because I think that...
Because even some of those kids, quote unquote, you're referencing, they were online saying, I didn't know Jazzy Jeff was a DJ.
Oh, really?
Think about it.
And I get it. Some of them are...
They know Fresh Prince.
Young. Like, some of them are just in their early 20s or even younger than that. I get that. I understand that there's always going to be a generational gap, right? There's always going to be things that we know as cultural phenomenon that won't resonate with them because they just weren't around for it. And same thing when we were younger.
Of course.
Our parents knew things that we would just be looking at them like, huh?
Like Your young ass don't know nothing about this.
Right, exactly. So I don't know. I just feel like I just feel like I feel like that's the question. Do the kids even care about 50 years of hip hop and being a part of that? I think whether they care or not, I think that if you're going to put together something like this and call it Through the Decades, then one, you have to represent every decade, even if that means you had to sacrifice some of your friends that performed in the beginning. And you can't go from having, because I think they said it was 33 people total that performed.
Oh, I don't know that part.
You can't go from 30 people on one end and then 3 on the other.
That's a good point.
That's very lopsided.
That's a great point.
So that was my frustration with this. Basically what LL said is that this is going to be a year filled of events, and this is not the only thing we will see where hip hop will be celebrated. He basically alluded to the fact that there will be a space where more people will be represented.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But this is the Grammys.
Yeah.
And I think there was an opportunity to be a lot more well-rounded with the Grammys. And it's not to say we weren't excited to see Rakim or Run DMC, or, I mean, the list goes on all of the people that we did get to see. And I don't want to take away from what they did, but it was hard to watch Glorilla. I gotta be real honest with you. It was really difficult to watch. I did not have a problem with Lil Baby, and I feel bad because, I like to support the girlies, but I couldn't get with it. And Lil Uzi, he did what he did. He did what he did.
This is true.
But yeah, so that's that.
All right. Beyonce.
Yep.
Shout out to Lizzo, 2 seconds.
Oh yeah. And
Lizzo.
Mary J. And her thighs. Mary's thighs.
JD Cam, them thighs.
Dash cam. Them thighs. I mean, and I am not a woman who fancies women, but I fancy Mary's thighs.
I mean, I think we all do.
Mary and them thighs. And Mary don't leave the house without them thighs.
Or the mini skirts.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Mary don't leave the house without them thighs. Mary be like, this is too long. This is too long. Where's the short one?
Right.
Where's the short one? Mary be like, do I even wear pants today?
And we appreciate that.
With her thigh-high boots.
I appreciate Mary's stylist and wardrobe selection.
Mary be out there. Them thighs be oiled up. They thick. And they just ready for whatever. They down for whatever.
I'm just gonna nod in agreement because
you can't say too much.
I cannot.
You can't say too much. We don't want this to come up later.
Nods in agreement.
We don't want this to turn into an old tweet
for those right. For those listening, nods in agreement.
But Mary's thighs, I mean,
yes.
Bring the yams to dinner, Mary. Just bring them to dinner.
And let me tell you, at the Church of Hip Hop, we worship those thighs.
Mary's thighs are the offering. Matter of fact, that is the Last Supper.
Nods in agreement.
Okay. Mary and the thighs.
Let's move on.
All right. But Lizzo won Record of the Year.
Yeah, she did. Gotta show Lizzo love.
It's about damn time.
That's right.
She performed too.
And I heard it was great. I didn't see it, but I heard it was great.
Yeah, her performance was great. Well, we were lusting over Mary, but Mary did perform. That's how I saw her thighs. I just want to point that out. She did great as well. I think she was nominated in a bunch of those categories. I don't know if she
sure was.
Won
she did not win Album of the Year, but she was nominated.
Yeah.
R&B Album of the Year, excuse me.
Yes.
But she did not win. And Parks the Engineer did not win because of that.
No, that's very sad.
We were sad about that for many reasons.
Very sad, but I'm sure he was thrilled about Bad Bunny opening the show.
They discussed it on their pod.
Yeah. Which I thoroughly enjoyed, especially because I feel like white people are probably thrown off a little bit.
Yeah, white people like Ben Affleck. We don't gotta say nothing. We can move on. That's it. Full stop, like you like to say. Come on, man, Beyonce. We got to wrap this segment up.
I just want to say, like,
I just want to rock.
I just want to say, when and if I have to go to an event with a man, if he's boring, I'm leaving him at home.
You should leave him at home. Let me be honest. I'm the boring guy sometimes. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I sometimes don't want to go do the fun stuff or quote unquote fun stuff. Yo, I want to stay home.
Well, tell Ben.
And Ben looked like she ain't let him stay home.
Ben looked like. So
and let me be clear. I'm 1,000% sure J-Lo runs that relationship.
Of course.
And she was like, why are you not dressed?
Yeah.
He's like, no, babe, I think, excuse me?
Why are you not dressed?
I asked, why are you not dressed?
He looked like, so there's not going to be any actors here?
Why are you not dressed? Excuse me? Listen, you got about 10 minutes because they coming to pick us up. Your ass need to be dressed in 10 minutes.
He looked
and
like,
we're staying for the whole show, by the way.
He looked like a kid who was dragged out the house to go someplace where only adults go.
Let JD Cam, J-Lo, let Ben stay home. He don't give a fuck.
Right.
Let him stay home.
It was painful.
Let him stay home and do his Dunkin' Donut commercials.
It was painful.
Did you see Dunkin' Donuts commercial?
I didn't see any.
We'll get to it when we talk about the Super Bowl.
It was painful to watch.
Let him stay home.
I agree. And that's what I was trying to say. Like, for me, if I know that I'm with someone who just, they don't really like going out or they don't really, this is not the event for him.
Right, that's what I was about to say. Right.
This is not the event for him.
Because sometimes you do like going out.
Of course.
But not to that, though.
Of course.
Like, that ain't really the thing. That's not your sauce. That's not your thing.
And that's perfectly
As we used to
fine.
say when I was younger, that's not your jam.
Exactly.
You know, like me, I don't like the clubs.
Oh, agree.
So if I'm married to a woman who, that's what she like, listen, baby, go enjoy the club. I'm going to be right on the couch, chilling, or doing some other shit that I find interesting. Listen, baby, go throw on the tight dress, take your Mary J. Blige thighs with you, strut your stuff.
Take your Mary J. Blige thighs.
Because J-Lo, as much as I'm not a J-Lo fan, J-Lo's been very famous for her body and how she keeps it tight. Her body, not other things.
This just took a turn.
But, yo, you know, go have a good time. I'm a chill. She should let Ben stay home.
No, I agree. I agree because I too do not like to go to things that I don't want to go to. And listen, you have to compromise.
Sure.
When you're in a relationship, you got to be able to sometimes suck that shit up for certain events, but not all of them. Some of them, you got to be like, you know what? You stay. I'll go. Or I'll stay. You go. I trust you. Go have your good time. Be with your people. Do what you need to do. Come home. We could do what we need to do. And then that's it.
That's right.
It is.
Come home and we could suck that shit up. Full stop.
We could do whatever you want. Come home liquored up is all I'm saying.
There you go.
Okay?
Saucy.
That's all I'm saying.
Saucy Santa.
And I'll be ready.
There it is.
But every event does not need to be attended by both of you. Now I get it. Sometimes it's not even, sometimes it's something you don't want to go to. And it's just going to be better if you have your person there. So I get that too. But this just looked like, Ben was like, why did you do this to me? I hate you right now. Like that was the look on his face. And I was just like, he should go home.
Yes.
He should have not been, because I think it's even more embarrassing to be in a position where you're going to be filmed and you're going to be on camera and your man looks disinterested in being there with you.
I mean, he looked disgruntled.
He did.
Forget about disinterested. He looked pissed.
He did.
He looked like, yo, I told this bitch I didn't want to be here.
Yeah, he did.
Why the fuck this is happening?
He did. Why did I get back?
I should have stood with that white girl. Anyway.
Well, okay. All
Come on,
right.
we gotta wrap this up.
All
Beyonce.
right. Beyonce.
Because what we doing on time?
So,
What's that say? An hour and 4?
yeah, an hour and 4.
Oh man, we got to speed this
Okay,
up.
we gotta speed it up. So Beyonce,
Record breaker.
Beyonce
How many Grammys?
has 32 Grammy Awards. 32 awards won.
I don't know what else niggas want.
I believe she's been nominated 88 times.
Yes, that's the number. She's been nominated 88 times. And for Album of the Year, which is what everyone won't shut up about,
She's been nominated.
she's been nominated 4 times and has yet to win 1. That's what the internet will not shut up about.
So the big upset was that Harry Styles won Album of the Year instead of Beyonce.
Okay.
And the 8 other people that were nominated. Because
It was a list.
there was a list. Lizzo, Mary J. Blige, ABBA,
I don't even know them all.
and several other people. I actually wanted to pull that up. I think I screenshot it actually because I think it's worth it to acknowledge. Yep, I have it right here.
Holler.
Harry Styles, Harry's House, ABBA, Voyage, Adele, 30, Bad Bunny, I'm not going to speak in Spanish right now and embarrass myself. Beyonce.
I was like, that's the name of his album? I'm not going to speak in Spanish?
No, I know.
That's smart.
I know.
But that's a lie. All his music is in Spanish.
Right.
And then you said, and embarrass myself? My brain was like,
Oh, yeah. Bad Bunny, Beyonce, Renaissance, Mary J. Blige, Good Morning Gorgeous, Brandy Carlisle, In These Silent Days, Coldplay, Music of the Spheres, Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and Lizzo's Special. I mean, those are some heavy hitters.
They are.
Now, I said to you, and I didn't do it, but I said to you that I would love to listen to all 10 albums.
And I told you that's time consuming.
And you were right.
I told you it's time consuming, and I personally have no interest in doing that. But kudos to you and good luck.
No, I did none of that. Now, just to be fair, I listened to some of Bad Bunny just because
Why not?
I went to DR recently.
More flexing on you.
And I've just been in like that kind of mood. Like there was a song that I heard while I was out there, and I was like, "Ooh, I love this. Let me go listen to Bad Bunny now."
I mean, he is the #1 streamed artist on the planet.
On the planet, right? So how could you not? I realized that the song that Harry Styles was nominated for, not the album, but the song that he was nominated for, I did not know it was a Harry Styles song.
And there's a lot of that.
And I think it's a cool song. It's roller coaster music, but it's fine.
That's a vibe.
It is a whole vibe. So, and I've listened to Kendrick. I have not listened to Lizzo. I feel like I am not a good person to make an assessment as to whether Beyonce's album was the best album or not. I also think, and I said this on Hardly Minding My Business, I also think that the people who are very upset, I feel like there's probably a large portion of people who are very upset that Beyonce did not win, who probably haven't heard all 10 albums either.
They haven't. Because they don't give a fuck about anybody but Beyonce.
Now, what I will say is that
She shouldn't have won Album of the Year anyway.
no, what I will say is to be the most decorated Grammy winner, to have been nominated 4 times in the Album of the Year category, it is surprising to me that Beyonce has not won in that category as yet. I said it's surprising.
Oh,
I didn't say it was right or wrong.
So here's what I think. I think it doesn't matter if she won or not. She broke the record and fuck everything else. However, apparently after the internet went wild, the Grammy people put out a statement.
Oh, did they?
And they said that Beyonce is too high of a decorated artist. What did they say? She's too much of a highly decorated artist to win Album of the Year. they said that this was anonymous members, by the way. They're not putting names on bullets. But
Of course not.
they said basically she's too famous, she's too popular, and that's why she hasn't won Album of the Year, because people are going to be too biased.
Now,
and I just want to say, that's why we shouldn't fuck with none of this shit.
agree. Because
it's all political bullshit.
Because here's the problem with that.
A lot of problems. First of all, it shouldn't matter who's popular or unpopular. Everyone in that category is super popular. And so, like, you gave it to Harry Styles. He's not the least popular person there. Out of that group of 10, he's not the lowest on the popularity in that list.
He came from a huge group and then
And
started
and arguably went bigger after.
Right.
So that's bullshit. That's number one. Number two, it's obviously not about quality of work. And so that is the problem. Right. And that's why we should not fuck with these shows. And yes, that's why Jay-Z and Beyonce should never go to the Grammys again.
But here's the thing. So this is not, and this can kind of segue us into other things as well. The director of Woman King wrote an essay on this very thing because her movie was not nominated. We talked about that, and the fact that Woman King was not nominated in any category.
Right.
And I think the reason this is a little bit different is because, to all the things you said, Beyonce does have a leg up.
Yes.
Whereas Woman King, with a movie, it's a little bit different, right? It's not an ongoing thing that's happening. It's a single thing that's happening. But she made the point to say, yes, you're telling people that they shouldn't count on these award shows, and you're telling people that, or you're leaning on the fact that, this is a white institution, or, she had that whole conversation.
Okay.
She said, the thing that people don't realize is what these awards do for you.
Yeah, we spoke
and your
about
career, that. Right? And it could be the difference. And we know this is not the case for Beyonce, this specific thing, but it could be the difference between your next project getting greenlit
or not.
It could be a huge difference for you financially, because we always talk about yesterday's price is not today's price. We know that you win Album of the Year, or your film wins a Film of the Year, or whatever it is, and everybody's stock goes up a little bit more because of that, right?
Of course.
And it's also, why is it that it's become that, this is a white institution, so you don't need to be worried about it, when it is the institution?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just is. And it shouldn't be that you get iced out, you get boxed out because of one frivolous reason or another. So I thought it was really interesting to read that, because I know for me, I said last week on Hardly Minding My Business that I felt like the same thing you said, that I think it's incredible what Beyonce has done. I think it's incredible what she's accomplished.
Right.
And I hate that the Album of the Year conversation seems to be overshadowing the fact that she's fucking awesome. She's, in terms of the Grammys, she is it.
Yeah, she is the Grammys.
She is the best out of anyone who has ever walked this earth.
Yeah.
And probably will be that for quite some time.
Yeah, she ain't going nowhere.
So, but after having read something like that, it does make me think, well, shit, it is fucked up. And again, I don't watch the Grammys enough to this was the first time, like I said, that I had watched it to its entirety. I don't watch the Grammys enough to even remember when she was nominated for Album of the Year before. But like you said...
Lemonade. This year, so what's this year? What's this album called? Renaissance, Part 1. Lemonade. Beyoncé, the surprise album, and then there was one more. I can't remember.
B-Day?
No.
4?
No, more recent. Whatever. That's 3 out of the 4.
It made me feel like, am I looking at this the wrong way?
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as I'm excited for her that she's accomplished what she's accomplished, am I diminishing this moment for her in some way because of the fact that it does get lopsided when you start putting, especially when we put, I thought it was ridiculous that Harry Styles got up there and said that people like them don't win awards like this. I thought it was ridiculous.
He's looking at things from a different lens than we are.
Yes, but
he's looking at it as, I'm a poor white kid from Britain or wherever. Poor whites are not who I'm used to seeing up here.
Sure.
And I'm saying that in my mind. I'm not saying he said that. I think that's what he's looking at it as. But anyway, we can move on because
right. But
it's not about Harry.
Right. But I only mentioned that because as big as Beyonce is, Beyonce hasn't won Album of the Year, and it does raise some questions.
Of course.
And I know her fans are
up in arms,
and her fans are, they ride for her and whatever. This is not that. I'm not shading that, but I'm just saying this is not that. This is me starting to wonder. This is me being a black woman and going, wait, are they fucking her over? Like, and I don't know. I said this already on my pod. I don't know. I don't know the answer to my question. I just know that I had to sit down and think about it and wonder, is that part of it? And then at that point, yeah, well, fuck the Grammys.
Yeah. All these award shows.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a lot warmer now. This coat really did it.
There you go.
But yeah, so I'm really happy for her, and I'm really glad that she accomplished what she accomplished.
Yeah. And that's what we should focus on.
And that's what I would like to focus on. I just, all of the, like, really sitting down and thinking about it, I was like, well, no, I'm not a diehard crazy fan or anything like that. But I do wonder, like, what really happened here? Like, what really, I would love to speak to someone on the inside and be like, what is really, well, yes. And
that's what the people on the inside said.
Yes.
It was not an official Grammy statement, but members on the board or whatever the fuck it's called, they anonymously came forward and this is what was said. So fuck them. Right. Not the people who said it, the institution itself. The institution,
of course. Yeah,
fuck them.
I agree.
Let's keep it pushing. Fuck
I agree. So, well, congratulations to Beyonce.
Congratulations to Beyonce.
She's killing it. Oh, and she announced her tour.
You already covered that on your pod.
I covered it on my pod, but it's worth saying. She announced her tour, and the people are about to have a good time in a couple months.
Sure. So, Super Bowl?
Super Bowl.
Okay, so I had some friends. I had 2 of my best guy friends over, mm-hmm. and my dad, and we were listening to some music, and my guy best friend says, "Oh, look, it's Moesha's mom,
Shirley Ralph."
But that's what he said.
I know, but I'm just saying, just in case anybody missed that.
And I was like, what? I was like hosting and doing things. Mm-hmm. And he's like, look, Moesha's mom. And I look up, and there she was singing. I don't know what she was singing because my TV was muted, and we were blasting music as we waited. So, I mean, we don't even really need to say what she sung. I just think it's cool that she sung.
I think it's actually important that we say what she sung.
Oh,
because
well,
I think this
take it away.
Is this the first time they did it? She sang the Black National Anthem. She sang "Lift Every Voice and Sing."
Oh,
so yes, it was very important.
Damn, I'm mad I missed it. I'm gonna go look it up and watch.
Yeah, she did a great job.
I mean, we could see like she was going in.
Belting it
she
out.
Had the backup singers, and
she's one of the original Dream Girls.
There it is.
So but yeah, she.
It was also really funny hearing my friend just say,
"There goes Moesha."
Hey, look, it's Moesha's mom,
yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what?
Huh?
This nigga watched Moesha?
Right.
We never even spoke about that. This is my best friend. Yeah, I was like, wait, what? What is nigga? He's like, look, Moesha's mom. I'm like, oh. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting a lot of recognition right now because I talked about Abbott Elementary last time we did the pod. And
absolutely.
She's getting a lot of recognition now. I'm very happy for her.
And I gotta be honest, I like that. I like when the elders are getting, like, spotlight and love and shine. I really do.
She's, she's killing
Not hating on the youngins, but we often see the up-and-coming person. And it's like, once you hit a certain age... Once you hit a certain tier, we kind of like put you over there. And so I think it's really cool that the elders are getting love.
Yeah, she's been around forever.
That is the camera dying, I think. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the JD cam died. Go ahead, you can continue.
She is... What was I saying? She's been around for a really long time. She sings, she acts, all of that. So I'm excited for her. I wish that she had won for certain things back in the day, but I am glad that she's getting all of the accolades now. Mm-hmm. I just wish that some of these actors, like you said, like the older actors, like Angela Bassett and Shirley Ralph, they're like really good examples of people who have been around forever and probably should have won one of these awards way, way, way long ago.
Right. But
they're winning it now, and I'm glad that they're getting their flowers. But it just kind of makes you think too, like, yo. What was happening out there when she was Moesha's mom, or when she was a dream girl, right. Or when Angela Bassett was playing Tina Turner, like, where was her award? Because she deserved one. So I'm glad they're getting their flowers now, but it just. It reminds you of the broken system. It does.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but that was cool. So Shirley Ralph.
Yes.
And then Babyface.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me go sit because I got stuff to say.
Babyface and his guitar. his pimped out guitar.
Is that what you thought it was?
I mean, I actually think that, the person who did the artwork for
the guitar.
No, I was wondering if the person who did the artwork for the I forget what they called it. It's like the fan row or whatever it is, the section where all the Super Bowl festivities were happening. Okay. Actually, a black woman who did it. Okay. I happened to follow her, and
That's dope.
She posted that all of the artwork that was around what she had done. But I was wondering too. I was like, did she do the guitar too? Because it looked similar.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. I mean, I say it was pimped out because it was like very colorful and it had like
it was decorated.
Flags and things on it.
That it did.
You weren't feeling it.
Nope.
No.
I did not like the guitar. I did not like that Babyface was on some almost country music shit.
Oh, he loves that.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. He
his
had
country bag. Do you remember when he used to be with Eric Clapton? I know that's not technically country, but when he used to be with Eric Clapton all the time?
yes. I didn't like.
When can I see you again?
That's a classic. I'm never mad at that, but I would have rather hear him sing that than sing this pre-recorded background vocal.
I thought it was beautifully arranged. I just didn't feel like it
but
was
that's not what happens at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I didn't think it was appropriate for the Super Bowl.
What the fuck is this?
But I thought it was beautifully. I said, well, one thing Babyface gonna do is arrange some music properly.
Absolutely. And that I have zero complaints about. That was arranged beautifully. It sounded great. But that's not what the fuck happens at the Super Bowl.
It was too beautiful for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, like you're supposed to be singing by yourself, killing it like we know you can. And that's not what happened. I was like, did they not pay him enough to get the real Babyface? Like, what happened here?
They get paid.
They get paid.
I don't think they get paid.
We'll have to do research and report back. But my point was,
because
this didn't look like Babyface truly wanted to show up. This looked like, I'm doing this, but I ain't want to get everything I got. Like,
because someone even mentioned
Babyface can blow, and we know that even from his most recent album with the young people. And I was like, what's going on? I didn't like it. I don't have much to say. I didn't like it. It was nice seeing Babyface. I'm glad, once again, the elders are getting shine and spotlight. But as the youngins say, that wasn't it.
Right. Listen, I wasn't into it either.
That wasn't it. And now, I will say one thing before we go to Rihanna. I watched the Super Bowl in its entirety for the first time in many years. That got nothing to do with this pod, but just being transparent.
But it does, and I was going to ask you about that. So, I mean, we could get into it now or after Rihanna.
Not really, but the quick version is it's easy. It's not a long story. For the sake of time, because of all the stuff that went on with Colin Kaepernick, I have not watched football. Which is sad for me because I love football. I grew up playing football tournaments, football. Like, I played flag football for years. Always used to do pickup games with friends. We have like a Thanksgiving tradition we used to do. We used to just like, all right, pick a park. We're going to go on Thanksgiving. And a group of us would go on Thanksgiving and be like, let's see who we can play. And all this other stuff. And so, like, even in my late teens and early 20s, I would always invite friends like, yo, this day we going to this park, come through, we going to play football, we'll split everybody up, all this stuff. And so I love football, studied football, played football, but when all the Colin Kaepernick stuff happened, I stopped watching football completely. I've seen little glimpses of football here and there, little glimpses of Super Bowl stuff here and there. But my best friend, his team is the Eagles, and I told him a while ago as the playoffs were happening and I was hearing about, you hear, oh, this person won, that person won, whatever. This team won, that team won. I said, listen, if your Eagles go to the Super Bowl, you can come over and I'll watch the Super Bowl. And so Eagles went to the Super Bowl, and so I had to make good on my word.
Is he okay?
He's okay.
He's doing all right?
He's all right. I'm going to keep checking on him.
Because let me tell you something. Now, I didn't watch the game. I watched the halftime show. But what I did have to do is check the score.
Periodically.
Just to make sure I didn't miss the halftime show. I kind of knew ballpark what time it was going to come on, but I needed to make sure. And what I know is that there were 2 minutes left in the first half, and the Eagles were up.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, at some point towards the end of the night, way after the halftime show or whatever, I said, well, I guess maybe I should just check just for the sake of checking. And I checked. And I said, oh.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is I have never seen so many Super Bowl commercials centered around music. Mad commercials were centered around music. Even one commercial that was about Crown Royale, there was a guy sitting in a music studio talking about all the things Canada gave us, has given the world, including a football, allegedly.
Apple has taken on the
halftime show.
Halftime show.
I didn't even know that. I found that out as all the advertisements were coming up.
Yeah.
As you know, in between the breaks, almost every time they went to a commercial, it was coming up soon. The Apple halftime Rihanna show or whatever the fuck they announced.
Yeah, it's not Pepsi anymore.
It's not Pepsi. It's not Rock Nation. At least that's what I was told. I don't know how true that is, but I was told Jay-Z is no longer involved.
Oh.
It is now because it's Apple. And so that's what I was told. I don't know how true that is. But
Yeah, I don't know how to
Rihanna,
I'm looking for that.
you want to go?
First, I would like to say,
Okay. Here we go.
congratulations, Rihanna, on baby number 2. I knew it from the moment you walked out. But I'm respectful, so I didn't go on the internet and tell everyone I thought you were pregnant. I thought that was nasty and I hated it. But I knew she came out hanging from the wires, and I kept saying, I FaceTimed one of my girls, and I was like, listen, you're not going to have me hanging from wires pregnant. I couldn't understand. I thought that was incredible. I said, well, she's up there, and there's just these 4 little itsy bitsy wires hanging, and I was like, how? But I don't understand.
She was strapped in.
I know she was strapped in, and she's a performer, and so things like that are not foreign to them. They do things like that when they perform. She hasn't performed in a really long time, though, so I'm sure that is a thing. But I was like, oh my gosh, and I said, pregnant nonetheless? Okay. She rubbed her belly as soon as she got out there. See, a lot of people didn't catch that.
I didn't.
She rubbed her belly almost immediately when she got out there. And I said, but that looks like a baby bump. That doesn't look like somebody who had a baby and they haven't lost the weight yet. That looks like a new bump. That looks like a new bump. And sure enough, a couple hours later, her reps confirmed it.
Yeah.
It was an announcement. I feel like we were in this weird holding pattern where some people were like, I'm going to be respectful because what if this is not true?
Right.
And then we've spread all around the internet that this woman is pregnant when she just got a little pudge in her belly.
Right.
But, and I know that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about the fact that Rihanna's pregnant. That was what she led with.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, she walked out, she rubbed her belly. It was an announcement she was making. And even though we couldn't figure it out, the only reason I really bring it up, though, is because, I didn't like the internet fodder about it. I was just like, but this is weird because we don't really know. And she didn't really do a whole lot to tell people. And now there's all of these people on the internet going, yep, hey, Rihanna's pregnant with baby number 2. Why did you make an announcement for someone who didn't make an announcement yet?
Because that's what niggas do.
No, I know, but it was just kind of weird. And then there was like the other half of the internet who was like pensively going, I don't want to say nothing, but am I seeing what I'm seeing? Yeah, the New York Times. I thought it was really interesting that the New York Times had a screenshot. They wrote something up on Twitter right after the performance, and they did not touch that. Nor should they. But that's the point that I'm making. I just felt like it was a really weird thing. Because, like, if you saw a woman on the street and you thought she was, but you weren't sure, you wouldn't, like, go make announcements to people about it. You would just...
No, but we don't treat celebrities the way we treat people on the street.
You're right.
So the performance, because you dancing.
I thought it was a Rihanna performance.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
I think that people think that with Rihanna, they're going to get, like, these big dance moves. They're going to get this big, bold, performing-ass performance. And I don't think Rihanna really does that.
There's a lot of performance hate today. I got to find the movie title with performance hate.
No, I'm not hating. I didn't even give my opinion yet.
You just said Rihanna can't perform.
That's not what No. I said a lot of people think that. And the reason I say that is because that was the next conversation that happened. First it was, I think Rihanna's pregnant. Then it was, I don't know, this was kind of underwhelming. That's what a lot of people said.
It was underwhelming.
Now, I think it was a Rihanna performance. I don't think that Rihanna really does a whole lot when it comes to performing. I think she comes out and she performs her songs. She gives what she gives, and that's it. I don't think she does the whole... I'm trying to do dance moves really. That's okay. Choreography. That was what that was. I don't think she does all of the big choreo. I don't think she does she's not like spinning anywhere or swinging from here and there. And I didn't expect to see her do any of that. I was just happy to see Rihanna perform. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm waiting because I got a lot to say. But also, how you feel about Rihanna performing a bunch of songs with other people on them and none of them being there?
Okay, so that's what I started to say earlier.
That's my first question.
That's what I started to say earlier. I feel like it was a missed opportunity. I didn't want to see Eminem. I knew going into the Super Bowl.
Well, they can't do domestic violence songs, and that's what their songs are.
Of course. But I'm just saying, like, that was the one thing where I was like, the only person I don't want to see with Rihanna is Eminem. I don't care.
You didn't see anyone.
I don't care to see that. I do think that I think that that's what makes the Super Bowl kind of cool is that you do get those guest performances. That's typical of a Super Bowl performance.
That's what I argued about with my people.
However, there's also something to be said about the fact that she went out and did it on her own.
And what's that? What is there to be said about her doing it on her own? I already told this to Nestor. I said I'll definitely be arguing with Dashing D tomorrow.
Why? Why did you?
Because I already know. I know my stance.
I mean, we agreed on last year's performance.
I think this year's going to be a little different. But go ahead.
I don't know. Because like I said, I just don't feel like...
You said there's something to be said about her coming out and doing it alone. What is there to be said?
I think doing a Super Bowl performance is a huge deal.
Yes.
And so I think that anyone who is brave enough to get out there and do it on their own and not have anybody else do it with them, that's pretty cool. I do think, as I was saying earlier, is that there was a missed opportunity. I know that Jay-Z was there with his daughter. Him and his daughter love to go to sporting events. Yep. They hang out all the time. I think it's so sweet. I really do. I'll get into that on part of my business.
You can, because now it's about Rihanna's performance.
No,
Come on.
Okay, Shady McGrady.
Yeah, because
But I wish that maybe Jay-Z would have hopped in there. She did a couple of songs that she's done with Jay-Z.
Yes. Yes, she did.
I think that she needed a couple people in there with her.
Okay.
Because again, it was a Super Bowl performance. I think that if this was a very different setting, then maybe not. But I think because it was the Super Bowl, I feel like there's so much budget put into a Super Bowl performance.
Oh, yeah.
And I just wish that we would have gotten some features.
Which is typical of the Super Bowl.
I said that. It's typical.
I actually had that debate with Tez. Tez is my best friend from Man Cave Monday, and he and I debated about that. So he was like, I said, as soon as she started performing, wait, were you done? Because I'm about to go in.
I mean, you go ahead. We can have a conversation. If I need to jump in, I'll jump in.
Because we're about to have a real conversation.
That's what we do here.
Great. So Rihanna comes out, and I'm like, all right, cool. As soon as we see her in the sky, Tez goes, oh, I hope she performs Shine Bright Like a Diamond. I said, she's probably not performing that.
You didn't think she would?
No. I said, Rihanna is the type of artist, like a Beyoncé, like a Michael Jackson, like a Prince, top tier artist, who their hits are not regular hits. Their hit records are not small records or even big records. They are phenomenal, huge, legendary records. There are certain people who get to that tier and it's like, that shit is always going to be demanded of you. Shine Bright Like a Diamond, which is just called Diamond, is not one of those records. I did not expect her to perform that. Towards the end, I found that I was wrong. I said, you got your wish, I'm wrong.
So shine bright.
That one. So,
Tonight.
that's it.
You and I. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I just wanted to make sure before I double dutch back in.
You're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Okay, I'm done.
Just wanted to make sure. You know, if you want shine, I don't want to get in the way.
So, if you start to talk, I'll stop.
Okay, great. So, Rihanna comes out. She's in the ceiling. I immediately was shocked she wasn't half naked. Do I want to see Rihanna half naked? Honestly, yes. But also, that's part of Rihanna's branding. Part of Rihanna's branding is her weight fluctuates. She's going to be confident about her weight no matter what it is. She's going to be half naked no matter what her weight is. Because a lot of things surrounding Rihanna, I almost said Rihanna. Rihanna's branding is sex appeal, confidence, the Caribbean vibe. We've seen her thick and half naked at Carnival more than once. And so when I saw, no, I don't expect Rihanna to be in Carnival gear at the Super Bowl. But she's in this red, fully covered jumpsuit from head to toe. And I'm like, that's a little weird. And we noticed her weight. But to me, that's not a surprise because, like I said, part of her thing is my weight fluctuates, but I'm going to strut my shit no matter what.
Which is why I think there was a lot of confusion.
And so I was like, she going to rip that red shit off at some point and have some flyer shit underneath. And we never got that.
I almost think she was trying to. It looked like she was trying to. And it looked like she was struggling to get the coat, that big coat that she had on. It looked like she was struggling to get it off. And she was way up there, so there was nobody to help her at that point.
Yeah. So that was weird to me. That was the first thing.
But then found out that she was having a baby. So
sure, but yeah, it makes sense now. In hindsight, we didn't know those things. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, not half naked, not really in the flyest outfit. This is weird. And the song selection. She starts with a record that Future's on, if I'm correct.
No.
What song she started with? It doesn't even matter. She started with, and that was weird. That was weird.
I feel like
because that's not her biggest record, one.
No, but I think.
And two, that's one of the records that's not necessarily Super Bowl appropriate.
Yes.
So to start with that was really weird to me.
It's funny you say that and you bring up Diamonds because I thought that Bitch Better Have My Money was going to be the song she wasn't going to do. Because it's not technically Super Bowl appropriate.
Yeah, that and S&M, in my mind, I'm like, she's not performing those two. Maybe some other ones you could get away with, but S&M and Bitch Better Have My Money, nah, I didn't think those were coming.
Yeah.
But to make this quick, she did a song that Future's on. I think the song that Jeezy's on, but I could be wrong. 2 songs with Jay-Z on them.
Yep.
A song that Drake is on. And then she performed her part of a Kanye West song.
Which, when all of the lights came on, I said, oh, everybody's coming out. I mean, I didn't think everybody would come out because these are huge artists, and I think that's what happens with the Super Bowl too, is that some of these people are so huge. Do they come out with the headliner, or should they be headliners themselves? And I wonder sometimes if that's the conversation that ends up happening when they're trying to slate these artists. Just the thought that I had, because I thought about it and I was like, well, would Kanye come out with Rihanna as a feature on a Rihanna?
I think before, yes. I think today, hell no.
And I don't think he should be there. I'm just, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? As huge as he is, the same thing with Jay-Z. Even though I think that Jay-Z is in a different stage of life at this point.
Sure.
Which is why I was more, I think I thought that he was more likely to come out than anyone else. Because I feel like Jay-Z's kind of beyond that I'm too big for you stage.
Also, Rihanna's peoples.
Right. And Jay-Z has been very much involved with
We have
Super
Rihanna
Bowl.
because of Jay-Z.
Right.
Oh,
so,
I thought you were talking about her career. I'm sorry.
well, of course, but I'm saying he's been so involved with the Super Bowl. I could just, it just, to me, there's synergy there. It makes sense. It doesn't lessen who he is as an artist in any way.
In fact, it's him saluting his peoples.
Right.
Like he did on the God Did record.
Right. So I was like, Jay-Z's really not coming. Like, you don't know how. I was telling people, I was like, Jay-Z about to come out. He got to be coming out. We know he's there. Somebody was like, no, he's there to hang out with his child. And I was like, well, okay.
I think it's really weird that not one person came out. I remember all throughout my life, one of the biggest things of the Super Bowl is, but who's coming out with the headliner? Who's coming out with the headliner? And so, if she was not going to have anyone there, I don't understand why she did all these records that have people on them. And I'm looking forward to what's going to happen in the next month or so, because I think the entire entertainment industry is going to be up in arms about it. They're all going to get performance rights, and this became a huge conversation in my house. Because my dad was like, I don't understand what's the big deal. He doesn't listen to hip-hop, and he doesn't really listen to Rihanna except when, like, my sister's playing it because they live together. When my sister's playing Rihanna, not playing it. But Tez does, Ness does, clearly I do, and so that became a whole conversation in my house about recording rights, contracts, 360 deals, who's going to get paid, how they're going to get paid, ownership, all this stuff. But, yeah, no Future, no Drake, no Jay-Z, no Kanye West, no Jeezy.
Who else is on all of the lights?
Everyone. There's a really interesting story about all of the lights, because Drake wrote a big part of it, and there's like literally 40 artists on it. There were so many artists on it, they had to take people off of it because you can only credit so many people. And so that's one of the controversies surrounding Drake and Kanye beef.
Interesting.
Because Drake wrote a big part of all of the lights, and he's not on it.
Look at Drake writing music.
Now, I knew Drake was not coming out because I have said here before that Drake and Rihanna, it don't really seem like Rihanna fucks with Drake. In fact, it seemed like she's kind of grossed out by Drake. I've even seen footage, and I said this to you before on this pod, that the footage is kind of like, hey, don't touch me. Like, you can see, like, he'll go in the lean, and she's like,
yeah,
hold up.
Yeah.
So when that song came on, I was like, ooh, Drake is probably somewhere mad right now. But no Future, no Hove, and then Hove specifically, of course we know he's there, whether they announced it or not, and later they did show him in the hoodie with him and his daughter in the hoodies. And we know, like you said, Hove is extremely involved. And to me, none of that even mattered, because when she did Run This Town, Tez was like, this is really weird to not hear with the other people. Even the hook, like, he started reciting Hove's part on the hook. And I was like, look at you knowing some stuff. And he was like, nah, this is the shit. How could I not know this? And he was like, and he said, but ain't this Kanye's song? I said, actually, no. And I gave a little backstory. It was originally recorded for Watch the Throne. Kanye didn't want it on there because Funk Flex had a bad reaction at like some party or whatever. And it later was taken and used for Hove's album. But no Hove? That's weird.
That was what was weird for me.
And then my house didn't agree with me. They were like, it's fine. She just did the hook. But then she did Umbrella.
Right. And then it was like he could have been out there for those two songs and then left.
And when she did Umbrella, Now the house was like, all right, come on now. Like, people were folding arms, posture was changing.
I mean, you needed to have
And
this
it was
scene
like,
there to
come
go,
on, man.
something.
Something.
Like, that would have been, I think, even if he didn't come out for Run This Town, or because, you know, the songs get arranged a certain way. Let's say he didn't come out from Run This Town, and then all of a sudden you heard, that would have, people would have went crazy. People would have went crazy.
So, this was weird. I like that she did a little makeup thing, 2 seconds. I said, we knew that was coming. But then even that, like, Fenty has expanded in a lot of ways. Another conversation we had in my house. Because they're like, oh, you know, she had to do the makeup thing. I said, yeah, but Fenty actually has, like, mad stuff now.
I think that was a new product, though. I think that was a fairly new product.
Just trademarked a kids line.
Oh, really?
Fenty Kids was trademarked recently. I heard that on another podcast. You know, they got the men's stuff. They got the women's stuff. Mm-hmm. I was like, so there's nobody in some risque shit in this performance? The most risque thing we got was the dudes humping the air with their tongues out. And that was whack, too. Like, I was like, that's what we're going to get? That's it?
Well,
this was not a fun performance to watch. This was overhyped. This was underwhelming. For me, that's 2 in a row.
Well, listen. I have some news for you. Okay? I have some stats for you.
This was the most Super Bowl halftime watched ever, besides Prince or Michael Jackson or some shit?
No. According to Spotify.
Oh, the numbers are 1,000,000% up?
On Sunday, February 12th, between 11 p.m. and midnight, there was more than 2,600% increase in U.S. streams of Bitch Better Have My Money by Rihanna.
Sure.
There were more than 1,400% increase in U.S. streams of Diamonds by Rihanna. 1,170% increase in U.S. streams of Rude Boy.
Okay.
She could have brought out Sean Paul.
I'm just saying. Like,
no, wait. Am I thinking of?
No, you think of a different.
I'm thinking of.
But even that, who cares?
I'm thinking of Beyonce, actually.
But who cares?
It's a Beyonce song.
I mean, listen.
We Found Love, 1,160.
The streams are up.
Of course. And we knew that was going to happen. But I'm just saying, I just thought it was cool that Spotify posted that.
Listen, Spotify going to let y'all know all the fake stats.
Yeah.
And the real ones.
I can't really speak on that, but you know, yeah.
Spotify going to let us know. Whether we like it or not. It's okay. I got you. Listen, it's okay. This might offend my political connects. I get it. It's okay.
I got a paycheck to make.
Don't worry. You make that money, girl. I don't want to get in the way. But I will say, Spotify won't tell us all the stats. And that's great. But Rihanna's still only getting a fraction of a penny from them streams like the rest of us.
Of course. But
so I don't give a fuck about that.
But I guess I'm just saying that, you know, I guess I bring it up more to talk about the fact that it
boosted her stock?
No. I was going to say that it just reignited excitement.
Sure. Where's the song we were getting?
Well,
fam, they could have skipped this shit.
I don't know about that.
I tell you, I knew it. I said last night to Ness, I looked at Ness, I said, man, it's going to be an interesting week to pod. And he said, oh yeah? I said, between these commercials and what I just saw performance-wise, I'm going to have a lot to say on all my pods this week.
Well.
And he said, yeah. And then, like, they released, you know, they showed a new Guardians of the Galaxy trailer.
I saw that, yeah.
There's a new Flash trailer. And actually, the trailer, I found out earlier today, the trailer they showed for Flash during the Super Bowl is not the new trailer. Okay. It was a Super Bowl specific trailer. There's a longer, better trailer that DC put out right after that aired. Which is also a whole another thing. But you know me and Baby Girl are going to talk about that on our pod.
Yeah.
Ant-Man comes out this weekend. We're going to talk about that on our pod. Yeah. All these music commercials. There was some very interesting political stuff in the commercials. It's a week to pod. But I told Ness, I said, this Rihanna shit, me and Dash, we gonna argue.
I mean, well, I don't think we're arguing. I think...
No. When I say, I mean a healthy, positive
of course,
debate.
healthy debate.
I don't mean yelling at each other, cursing it out, throwing water at each other like they did to Glover at the club. We can leave that for another time.
We could also leave a few other things that we had on the list.
Yeah, because we got a long list today.
We talked about a lot of
music stuff.
We had those big things that we had to get to. So.
Grammys and Super Bowl. It's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. I was happy to see Rihanna perform.
Sure.
Because it's been a while. I think they said this. It's been 7 years since her last live performance.
I wouldn't know. No, I'm not trying to diss. I'm not. No. That's not a critique. I honestly don't know. Oh, and to respond to one of your points, no, that wasn't a diss. I really don't know about when Rihanna last performed live. That part is not a diss or a critique. I do have disses and critiques, as y'all can see. But,
Yep.
Pregnancy, okay, cool. That explains the mobility. That explains the fully covered head-to-toe outfit. But one of the things you said was Rihanna is not known to be a super fly performer. You said it in different words. I'm summarizing. I actually disagree with that, though, because I've never been blessed enough to see Rihanna perform in person. But I have seen lots of footage of her performing online. One of my favorite performances to watch online is her performing the Prince song.
Oh, yes. That was a great performance. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Nikki.
I don't remember, but
I can't look it up because my phone is.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know, and Dre's gonna curse me out when he watches this because he's a huge Prince fan.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Little Nikki?
I don't remember.
I'm sorry, Dre. And everyone else was a Prince fan because I apologize. It's actually one of my favorite Prince songs. But at the moment, I cannot for the life of me remember the full title. But there's a very popular performance of Rihanna performing. I think it's Little Nicky, no? Oh, you checking?
I'm looking it up.
There's a very popular video of Rihanna performing that and then transitioning into S&M. It's a great performance, and
yeah, it's a great performance. I've seen it.
I watch it all the time, and it's a great performance. I've seen her do a lot of really good performances online. So the fact that you're saying like she doesn't do certain things in her performances, I disagree. Yeah, she's not the person who has the best choreography and does 800 dance moves and, like you said, spin moves. But Rihanna gets busy. She demands stage presence. Her confidence exudes out of her. I didn't see any of that on the Super Bowl performance.
I guess what I'm trying to say is not necessarily that. I do think she was moving slower. I do think that
what was this? What was that was the flyest dance movie?
We also don't know how pregnant she is. And maybe like she's known about the Super Bowl for quite some time.
Maybe ASAP didn't know.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Maybe accepting.
Oh, and is there an update on ASAP's criminal situation? Because Tez asked me that too.
No, he was there.
Right, and we knew that. That was already. They confirmed that a while ago because there were rumors online whether he would be there or not, and they confirmed and was like, "No, I'll be there."
Having a good old time watching his.
And he should.
Yeah, there's video of him like getting excited and
he
while
should.
he performs.
Listen, if my lady is performing at the Super Bowl, I don't have a lady, but if my lady was performing at the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna look like Ben Affleck. I'm gonna be there looking hype as shit.
Yeah,
that's gonna be when you do see JD dance.
Well, I mean, that's the okay. All right, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, no, that's definitely a flex. But he was there. There's video after the performance that this video popped up of somebody took video of him singing along and dancing to her, her performance.
That's a beautiful thing.
What was I gonna say? I don't remember. I lost my train of thought.
Rihanna performing does exude confidence, and she does have stage presence.
She does, and I don't want to make it sound like she doesn't have those things. I also think that there is this expectation, and has been for a really long time, that Rihanna is going to come out and do Beyoncé type performances.
Oh.
I think that people put that on her.
Okay.
And I think that's why I started off that way. Like,
okay.
We gotta stop doing this. You know what irritated me yesterday about being on the internet before the Super Bowl? The amount of people on Instagram and Twitter that I saw talking about old Beyonce Super Bowl performances they loved. And it was like, all right.
The internet has been pitting the two of them against each other pretty much since Rihanna came out.
It's like, we know y'all love Beyonce. We get it. We know she's great. Listen, even me, who doesn't consider myself a fan, I praise her. I big her up because I think she fully deserves to be praised. But I also think it's okay to think that other people are great too.
Absolutely.
It's extremely frustrating. I have this one person who I won't mention because she's actually pretty well known, like in the business world. And she, I guess, was involved with Beyonce's first Super Bowl performance. And she posted this whole thing. And granted, I think she posted it for a number of reasons. But she posted this whole thing about how 10 years ago with Pepsi, Beyonce was performing at the Super Bowl. And there was photos. And it was just like, all right, girl. We know. Thank you. We were all there. Okay?
That's unnecessary.
We were all there. It is not necessary. I get that y'all love Beyonce, but someone else is performing tonight. And y'all don't do this shit with anybody else.
No. It's because that's the internet rivalry. There's no rivalry in real life. It's internet stuff that's been happening pretty much since Rihanna came out.
So, of course, there was going to be a level of I'm underwhelmed, and I'm not saying that it wasn't warranted, right? But I'm saying even if, let's say she moved a little faster, let's say she wasn't pregnant, she moved a little faster, maybe she did some other things, it would still be, oh, well, it wasn't a Beyonce performance, and it's like
that's trash. That's why.
And I've always loved Rihanna, and
Rihanna's one of my favorite artists.
Right, and I would say that for me, there's no contest there.
Yeah.
And it's not because one is better than the other. It's a preference. It's just,
Agreed.
I have always gravitated more towards Rihanna's music.
Same.
I have, my dad was the first person I knew listening to Rihanna.
That's really
before
and you told me this, but it's still
before she switched over to like mainstream music, and she was just a Bayesian artist that was, pump the replay. And my dad was like, "Oh, you've never heard this person before?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "She's from Barbados," and I'm like,
yep.
"Okay, Dad." My dad was just excited because she was from the Caribbean,
right? And he's tapped in.
Right, and he's like, oh no, she's great. And I remember I used to tell him, I don't think I like this music. And maybe a year later, she exploded, and I was like, oh, I think I like this music.
Right.
So I don't know. We don't get mad at Adele for not getting on stage and doing flips and dips and all kinds of stuff like that. We praise her for.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We praise her for her ballads, and we keep it moving. And we could list a bunch of other people who don't sell the same thing. And that's essentially what we want, right? We want, as consumers, the variety.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't want every black female artist to be Beyonce.
Right.
I don't want all of them to be Rihanna.
Right.
So I want to take back, I don't want it to sound like I think that Rihanna doesn't perform well or doesn't have stage presence. I think she absolutely has stage presence. I think she had presence last night.
I don't.
I just think that, because I think that she knows how to give it. As much as she didn't do a whole lot to command a presence, I guess, I think that she's still sassy. She's still, I saw it, and if you look at some of the images from last night too, they captured where she was kind of showing off her sass a little bit. But again, I don't know what that woman feels like. I have never been pregnant in my life. I don't know what that woman felt like when she was out there performing in front of all those people and trying to move in that big ass, hot ass outfit she was in. So I'm going to give her some grace for that, because I have no idea what it is like to get up on a riser like that, pregnant, covered in cloth, and perform. And she's probably tired and feeling sick and who knows what else. So for me, it was okay. As soon as I saw the bump, I was like, We're not getting a lot.
And we did.
As I said, I was on the phone and I was like, "Ooh, she about to not move. She gonna stand in one spot and protect that baby." And for me, watching it, I was like, "Let's just protect the baby." I was really concerned about her being so high up, and I was like, "Protect ASAP Fenty at all costs."
All right, we can move on that note.
Yes, I think we can wrap up the episode.
No TV and film today?
Oh, do you want to get to... Okay, let's see, because we way over 2 hours at this point.
Right.
So I figure we could...
Well, did you know, speaking of, Fenty and raunchy stuff...
Oh, I had a thought about... Sorry.
Okay.
No, I think it might be what you're about to talk about.
Magic Mike?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you know number 3 was out?
Okay, so... I saw you had put it on the list.
Yeah.
And I just started seeing the promo. It must be coming out in the next couple of weeks.
It's out.
Oh, it's out already. Because I know promos.
That's why I put it up there, because I'm like,
promos usually are 3 weeks out. But
let me be clear.
are you going to see it?
I don't watch any Magic Mike anything. I don't like Channing Tatum as an actor. I don't think he's a good actor. I think he is great at sex appeal. I think he takes amazing care of his physique. And I think he is very talented, because I remember watching Step Up and was like, that white boy can dance. I can just two-step with my cup in my hand. That's all I got. And I could catch a dub. Or whatever kids call it these days.
You can't catch a dub.
But I can't do none of the shit that he was doing in Step Up. But acting? No. I don't believe in Channing Tatum as a lead actor. He's a supporting actor kind of guy. And sometimes not good at that either. I don't like him as an actor. I don't think he's great at acting. But I also don't want to see him half naked. I have no interest in that. So no, I'm not seeing... I know you were being silly. But no, I'm not seeing Magic Mike 3. I didn't watch 1, 2, or anything else he was in. 21 Jump Street, none of that shit. Now...
Oh, I did see 21 Jump Street, at least the first one.
What I do think is really interesting is that this is called The Last Dance. Uh-huh. Magic Mike XXL, The Last Dance, whatever the hell it's called.
I think it's The Last Dance.
I don't know the
second one was XXL.
The part before the semicolon. This one is The Last Dance after the semicolon. Now, it's the third movie, probably his last movie in this series, because he said that on...
Kelly Clarkson.
Thank you very much. Kelly Clarkson. We spoke about it on Food, Fitness, and Fun. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Dre. And he is probably his last movie. And so the fact that it's probably his last movie, the fact that it's the last of the trilogy, who knows if they're going to do 20 more or not.
I hope not.
But, and the fact that he has not had a lead role in a long time. And the last thing I'll add is that this franchise has such a huge following.
Does it?
Magic Mike? Oh, the ladies love seeing him and the rest of the half-naked crew in these movies.
You're going to laugh when you hear what
I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say. But...
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you're not a fan of the whites. So...
yeah, white men don't do it for me. But anyway.
That's why I said I think I know what you're going to say. Yeah. So... but... this shit got a huge following. Where's the promo? Why is there no promo for Magic Mike 3?
Yeah, I found that...
Because I just went on the AMC app to get my Ant-Man tickets for me and my daughter. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, does that shit say Magic Mike? Why they put Magic Mike back in theaters? And then I saw The Last Dance, and I'm like, hold on, let me leave this app and go Google. Oh, this is number 3? Oh. Like the new one? Who knew this was out? It was already out.
I mean, I've been seeing the commercials for it. So that's why I was saying, is it coming out? Because I know movie promos typically start 3 weeks out. I think, but it seems like there was no, there's advertisements for it, mm-hmm. which is what I'm seeing when I'm watching TV and whatever. But there was no, buzz about it. Like in terms of like that boots on the ground promotion, like there was none of that.
Yeah.
This was the first. I mean, I saw your update, but then I was watching something and I was like, oh, that's what this is. And I started seeing all the commercials for it. So that's why I didn't even think it had come out yet. But is what I will say. All right. So when I saw your note, I said, there's a third Magic Mike? Now, I had never seen Magic Mike. I think someone a while back, if I remember correctly, tried to show me the first one. And I was just like, what are these white men doing? Not my cup of tea.
But that's why I said I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say.
Also, male strippers don't really do it for me. Like, I'm not really into it. It's weird. It's not bad. It's just not for me. I'd rather see women strippers.
Holler.
I've been to bachelorette parties where the strippers come to the party.
Is there a fire in here?
Yeah, and to me it's just weird. There was the one that I went to where the stripper smelled like it was almost like it seemed like he had left one party and came to another, and he did not smell good. And I would imagine like you would want to smell top notch.
If you're going to put your crotch in people's face. If you're going to
put your crotch in people's face. I remember one tried to like run after me and I was like, don't you dare. Because I'm not into that. And I'm not a prude by any means. I would rather like, I appreciate like a woman's body in that way better. I don't know. I've never been into the male stripper thing. And then to like go to a male strip club and then like that move that they do where they like grind in the floor, like it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't move me in any way. So I remember someone being like, oh my gosh, you gotta see Magic Mike. And I was like, do I?
Right.
Cause I'm not really into this. But after I saw your note, while the rest of you were watching the Super Bowl, I did a double feature. Which I paused to watch Rihanna.
You watched Magic Mike 1 and 2?
I watched 1 and 2 because I wanted to understand why there was a third one. It was purely for informational purposes. It was not because I thought that they were going to be great movies. I saw that they were on HBO Max. I said, oh, I have HBO Max. Let me go. Let me watch Magic Mike. So I watched the first one. And I'm like, oh, okay, Channing Tatum. Yeah, like he's cool, but that's it. Like Matt Bomer is in it.
Watch your mouth. No, I'm kidding.
Matt Bomer was in.
Sounded like Bomer.
I know. Matt Bomer was in White Collar, and I loved White Collar when it was on. So I was like, oh, okay, there goes Matt.
I don't even know who he is.
I recognized at least half of the cast. So I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. To me, honestly, the storyline is very typical. You know, he's trying to save up some money so he can not live this life anymore. He could live a different life, you know, blah, blah, blah. He gets the girl, blah, 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 whatever. Then the second one is...
This is going to make such great content.
His life.
This excites me so much. I don't know if they can see how excited I am. But man, who knew we were going to get the dashing lead? Magic Mike double feature review.
His life kind of goes to shit a little bit. Like he gets the life he wants, but then it's not really the life he thought he was going to have. So now he's like, oh, maybe I'll fuck around with the guys again. You know, and...
There goes a JD cam. Good.
I was just like, but I don't want to see these white men dance. That was my biggest takeaway. I was like, I still don't get it. Because, you know, I thought maybe at the end of it, I would be like, oh, I get the whole male stripper thing. I didn't get it at the end. At the end, I was like, oh, this is for like old,
Whoops. Continue.
Old white women.
Right.
And, women who love, or people who love, chiseled white bodies. And I am...
Holy shit. Yo, I wish so badly that we named our episodes at random like other podcasts do. Because, man, I would so name this podcast Chiseled White Bodies.
I know.
But I want to click on it. Could you imagine just scrolling in your feed and be like, new episode, Chiseled White Bodies?
But
what does that even mean?
You know when you're supposed to like something that you don't like. You know when like people expect you, like what's expected of you is for you to be like, oh yeah, like this is so attractive, and I'm just like, this is so not attractive. I'd rather watch, I don't know, The Best Man and have Morris Chestnut be fully clothed, and I am more turned on by that than these 6 men humping the dirty floor in the place that they're in. By the way, in movie number 2, it's interesting because Donald Glover is in it.
Holler.
AKA Childish Gambino.
That's right.
At first, and I hate the lighting. I fucking hate the lighting in this series, I guess. It's like weird, it's like blue and pink, and
that's what the ads are.
That's how when they're dancing.
That's part of the branding,
right? When they're dancing, that's how it is. So at one point,
I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start making. I'm gonna start having like blue lighting when I record my pod.
I mean, people do it.
I'm kidding,
but yeah, I see this black guy, and I'm like, oh, a black man.
Yay!
Hey. I mean, he didn't look like somebody I wanted, but I was just like, okay, who is this? He looks familiar.
Right.
And again, the lighting is weird, so I couldn't tell for like 10 minutes. I'm like, is that him?
Was he performing Redbone?
No. No, but he did do a little song at one point in the movie.
Look at that.
He did do a little song, and then he ends up being like a part of the rest of the film.
Oh.
And
so you got to see him shake his tail feather too?
No. That was not the role that he played.
And I'm happy.
He was an entertainer. Now, you know who I did see? You were just talking about football, and I had no idea that this person was in the movie. Michael Strahan is the worst stripper I have ever seen on a television or movie production.
Yo, you on fire right now.
Michael Strahan. I said, is that Strahan? It was Strahan. Yes, it was.
And he had already lost the weight by then, right?
Oh, no, his body looks great.
No, because Michael Strahan was on the larger side when he was playing football. But once he retired, he went shoo.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is since he's been like on GMA and whatever. This was, I think the second movie came out in 2015.
Your guess is better than mine.
Well, because
and you should know, actually.
I looked at the movie last night. I literally saw it 24 hours ago. So
what a pod. These last 2 pods, I'm telling you, we about to be out of here.
But
I don't even normally say shit like that. But no, please continue. Michael Strahan.
I had no idea what he was doing. It was very clear. Now, what I will say is that Strahan is light on his feet, but we know this because he is a football player. And football players tend to be lighter on their feet. They, some of them even take ballet just so that they can.
Yes,
they can learn how to be light on their feet. And I could see that because at one point he did this little jump thing, and I said, "Oh my gosh, how graceful!"
Yeah,
how graceful, but how terrible of a stripper he is. He was not even a little good. Oh shit! Honestly, he was just like going near the woman and kind of going like this. He wasn't really doing anything. I was like, "You don't know how to make your body roll straight in."
You ain't teaching.
I mean, body roll is like just like basics. Even I can do the body roll, and I am no stripper, but I can make my body roll. All right.
That reminds me of this comedian. Mm-hmm. Tess put me on to him when we were kids. Mm-hmm. His name is Oh my God, his name is Pablo Francisco, and he had a roommate who was a stripper. He has a whole bit about it, and then he said, "I mean, this guy looks great, not like me. You see my body? I couldn't be a stripper at Denny's with this body." Yo, when you said I'm not a stripper, that's exactly what came to my mind. He's like, you see this body? And he looks down. He's not chubby or anything. He's just average. And he's like, you see this body? I couldn't be a stripper at Denny's with this body. Yo, super funny.
But yeah,
Pablo Francisco.
But yeah, listen.
But no, please continue with your straight hand hate. Come on.
I mean, it just wasn't good. It wasn't good. They had, you know what they had Childish Gambino doing? They had him kind of being like the one who like performed music and then flirted with the women.
Okay, he was the pregame. He was the warm up.
Sort of, yeah.
He was like the foreplay.
He was like the foreplay. He was like when they would single out certain women and try to make them feel beautiful or pretty or whatever. He was the one who could sing or rap to them or whatever. That was his role. But it was pretty terrible, actually.
What content? Oh,
both of them.
Like
Pretty
such
terrible.
A great episode right now. You're on fire. What else you want to talk about? What other things you got opinions on? What else you want to hate on?
This is gonna be the last thing, but pretty.
Oh, speaking of hate on, I'm mad that JB Cam died. Yo, so there was a Dunkin' Donuts commercial in the Super Bowl. It's Ben Affleck. Affleck. Okay. I'm sorry. I know I say his name wrong.
You do?
And because I say his name wrong, every time I say it, I say Affleck. Every time I see it, I think about those commercials.
Yeah, because I heard
Affleck with the duck
with
going,
the duck.
Affleck. So.
Yeah, because you definitely said Affleck.
No, I say it wrong every time.
Oh, okay.
Let me be clear.
Okay.
It was not intentional before. Like when I first started learning
But now
about
you
I call him Affleck all the time. I know that's not his name at this point. Yeah, before it was just bad pronunciation. But no, it's intentional. Affleck. So it's a commercial of Dunkin' Donuts, and he's the guy at the drive-thru. He's at the window, the pickup window, and taking orders and stuff. So he's got like the mic. He's like, yeah, it's okay. I'm gonna throw in an extra glazed donut for you. You sound really cool. You sound like you need 10 munchkins. And then when people drive up, some people know him, some people don't. You can see like their reactions. They got the camera, whatever. Cool. And so what's really funny is there's some people like, oh, can we take a selfie? And so he like leans in super close so they could take the selfie. And then other people are like, oh my God, I can't believe it's you. You're. And then this one person is like, no reaction. They're just like, all right, cool, Ken, thanks, I appreciate it. He's like, do you recognize me? And they're like, no, who are you? Yo, so fucking funny.
Oh, I gotta
but wait,
that one. I gotta look that up.
So all of that was cool to me. But how do you think the commercial ended?
Did he get the munchkins? The glazed donut? J-Lo showed up? Well, I was just about to ask you, do you think he got that gig because of J-Lo?
So he's there at the drive-thru.
She showed...
He pulls up in the car and goes, what are you doing?
Oh, he's not supposed to be eating donuts!
No, he's working at Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, I
That's
thought
what
he
I'm
was
trying to
the
tell you.
one in the car.
No, the whole commercial, he's the guy giving you your order.
Oh, okay.
At the pickup
He's the
barista, cashier.
Yeah.
All of the above.
All of the
That's what I'm saying. So he's mic'd up, like he's
Yeah,
got the
I'm
headset
sorry.
on. He's got a black Dunkin' Donuts t-shirt on. This is not an ad. Dunkin' Donuts did not pay us, but hey.
No, don't show them that.
I mean, they see me sipping it all episode.
I know,
every
that's
episode.
why you don't need to pick it up
Yo,
again
listen,
and show them.
Dunkin'
Dunkin' didn't give us nothing.
I don't know about
But you
that.
can.
Right. That's where I was heading. High five on that.
But you can listen.
Dunkin',
please,
we will
give us-
gladly take
give
a
us some
check. Lifetime supply of Dunkin' Donuts. Keurig, what they call them? K-Cups.
K-Cups.
You see, I'm trying to learn. I don't got that, but...
I could take some K-Cups.
K-Cups.
I'll take creamer. I'll take whatever you got.
All of that. Talk to us. Have your people hit up Chris.
Talk to me, man.
Dunkin', yeah. So he's got like the whole uniform on. That's what I'm trying to say. So he's there. People are pulling up. He's like, you look like you need some extra donuts. And then so people don't know.
Right, I get it now.
Like on the, the speaker, you pull up, you're like, can I get a large?
Right, you don't know that it's him until you get up to the
So when
window.
you get to the window to pick up your order, people are like, hey, oh my God, it's you. And then, so he asked this one person, that's what I'm saying. So this one person pulls up and they're like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. How much was it? He's like, do you recognize me? And they're like, no, am I supposed to? Yo, shit was mad funny. Mm-hmm. So right after that, a white car pulls up and there's J-Lo in the car to pick up her order. She's like, babe, what are you doing? What is this what you be doing? You say you're going to work every day? Oh my God, that shit was so fucked up and funny. And he's like, babe, I'm just. She's like, can you get the fuck out of here? She don't curse, but you could tell that's like the demeanor. It's like, nigga, what are you doing? Can we go? And so he's like, guys, it's her. I gotta leave. I'm sorry.
It's her.
That's what he said. He's like taking off the headset. He's like, guys, I gotta go. She's here. I gotta go. Sorry, guys.
Oh, so their relationship personified.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay. That's funny.
It was funny. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
He should go on Magic Mike.
Why?
I don't know.
Maybe he should direct Magic Mike. Because actually, I'm gonna get some more hate off. I'm really mad that JB Cam died because this is like the perfect moment to zoom in on me. I don't like Ben Affleck as an actor. Mm-hmm. He's got like 2 good movies out of 500. Right. But he could direct all right.
Okay.
So
what is a movie he's directed that you liked?
The Town. The Town is good. I always mess up the name of this other movie he did. It's critically acclaimed. He's in it as well. I didn't see it, but I know it's very popular. Man, I saw The Town and he directed The Town. I'm gonna just be honest. It's probably the best movie he's in. I don't mind him as a director. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see him in any movies acting. I'm very glad his run as Batman in DC is over. The Flash is the last movie. Oh, he's got a cameo in Aquaman 2, allegedly, but I'm glad he's done there. Now, he's rumored to be directing for DC some films.
Okay.
They're trying to figure out what projects. I know this is not the pod for that, but since we talk about Ben Affleck, they're saying he wants to direct, and they want him to direct. I'm curious to see what he would direct and how he do. I think he's cool as an actor, but that acting shit is I was gonna say let J-Lo do it, but she can't act either. So
no, but you know what J-Lo does well?
Dance.
Yes,
but dress. She dresses very well.
But I didn't like her. I didn't like her Grammy outfit, but she can kill some outfits. But the kids say some fits. She can kill some fits. Yeah. She can even like hold a tune when she's not yelling out, "Let's get loud." Do you remember when she did that at the inauguration? Are you serious?
No.
You've never seen this?
No.
Okay.
I don't even know what you're referencing.
Okay, after the pod, I'm going to show you where she performed at Biden's inauguration. I don't remember. She was singing "America the Beautiful," I believe, and then all of a sudden goes, "Let's get loud."
Wow. Yikes.
And it was like, but J-Lo, we know it's you. Like, and we know your music. We know your... Let's Get Loud. We know Let's Get Loud.
Being a jerk.
It was like, you didn't have to remind us that Let's Get Loud was your song because this was not the time nor the place for this.
Right.
This is very weird that you did this.
And this could be last if you want, because I know we're in like super overtime at this point. But speaking of weird, another person's name who I intentionally pronounce wrong all the time.
Okay.
I'll wait till you sip your water. No rush. You good now? M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, I know. I've heard you say
He's got a new movie coming out.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe it came out too. Oh, it's out as well. And there's been a lot of promo for this movie. David Bautista's in it. Eric Bana, I think is his name, is in it. I know his last name is Bana. I always forget his first name. Anyway, he's in it too.
What is it called?
Knock on the Cabin Door or some shit. You seen a promo for this?
No.
It's like this male couple, and there's a daughter, they've adopted a daughter, I guess. I don't know the story. You see, it's two guys, they're a couple, they have a daughter. I guess in the movie you find out, I'm not watching it, which is what I was going to say later, but let me just be honest. In the trailer, it's them in a cabin, whatever, and then David Bautista and two other people come, and they're basically like crying and sad, but they're like, well, we're just going to tell you now, one of y'all has to die to save the world. We can't even really explain it to y'all, but you guys actually can choose. We don't even care who dies. But we know that if one of you don't die, the world will end and horrible things will happen. So one of you has to die. We'll give you this amount of time to, and they like hog tie them and all this shit. And they are trapped in their cabin that they've rented or whatever. And one of you has to die. This is the trailer, not me. One of you have to die or the world will end and horrible things will happen. And clearly they're being instructed by someone or some group of people because they're like, even at one point in the trailer, you can see like the quote unquote killers sobbing up. And they're like, they told us we have to do it. We don't even want to do it, but we know what happens if we don't. And that's the trailer. And so the family is trying to escape these three people.
Maybe I did see this.
It's called Knock on the Cabin Door or something like that. And it looks terrible. And also, not only does it look terrible, I don't know why people are still allowing M. Night to still make movies.
Okay, well, that sounds like a completely different conversation.
It doesn't look good, and he's not done well with his last few movies. Even though I hear he has a show that's great, and is like 2-3 seasons in. I don't remember the name of it, but I don't know why people are still letting him make movies, and this shit don't look good.
Because that's kind of what happens.
I'm not going to watch this. I was really excited when they put out the movie Glass a couple years ago. In fact, Nestor came with me and we enjoyed the film, or we thought we were going to enjoy the film, and then it was horrible. You ever seen Unbreakable? Where Samuel L. Jackson gets hurt for everything, but on the flip side, Bruce Willis can like never get hurt.
I think so.
So this was part 3 of that. So the idea is that Split and Glass were a trilogy. Split is about a guy, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, Split was awesome. It was weird. It was like kind of suspenseful, kind of like a thriller. It was like so many great things in one. And I was like, oh shit, are they bringing back Glass from oh man, it's about to be
and then it wasn't. Oh.
Blinks at camera for those listening. And then it wasn't good, like at all. It was terrible. It was supposed to be like, the promo was like some big superhero crazy fight. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, actually, these 3 people are captured and locked up and going through therapy at a crazy house.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I won't be watching that.
No Shyamalan.
No. But you know what I realized?
What's that?
I didn't tell you what J-Lo's good at.
Oh! I'm sorry, I fucked it up. Go ahead, what is J-Lo good at?
J-Lo is good at...
Come on now.
J-Lo's rom-coms are not... Rom-coms in general are not incredibly amazing, right? They're rom-coms. They are what they are. But what J-Lo has tapped into is, even though she's not a particularly amazing actress, her brand of rom-com is a very specific brand of rom-com, and it just works. Like, whether it's good or not is up for debate, totally. But it just works. Like, they're easy to watch. You know, it's hard to explain, but it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, I know this is not great. I even watched the new one. What is the one where they were actually talking about her body because she's like she's just like in a thong or whatever in it. It's a Prime Video. It's a Prime movie. Shotgun Wedding with Josh Duhamel.
I don't know anything about this. Sorry.
The concept is stupid, but again, like I said, a J-Lo rom-com usually is not the greatest conceptually or anything like that. It's kind of like J-Lo needs something to do. Like J-Lo goes, I feel like making a movie. Let me see who has like a mediocre rom-com that I could do. And then she does it and it's fine. Like you watch it and you don't feel like you gained anything. You don't feel like you've lost anything. You've just seen a rom-com with J-Lo in it. And that's kind of how I feel about rom-coms with J-Lo. I don't think they're incredibly terrible, but I don't think they're incredibly good either. They're just kind of there if you need something to watch. So I watched the Shotgun Wedding movie.
You was watching a lot of stuff.
Not yesterday, but it's because it's been out for a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. Because I'm about to say, damn, girl.
I watched it at some point, and it's a really weird movie. Her and the guy are getting married.
I mean, the title kind of...
Her and the guy are getting married, and then they end up like... I don't want to give it away, but...
I don't think anybody cares. We're keeping it a buck.
They end up like having a fight or whatever, and while they're having the morning of the wedding, and while they're having the fight wherever, their entire wedding party, like all their guests and whoever, get held hostage on the resort they're on. They're at like this little resort, and these pirates come in and they hold up the
pirates.
That is where they lost me. That is where I was like, what the fuck is this?
Blink, blink, blink.
But that's why I'm saying, like, conceptually, it makes no sense. But, J-Lo still finds a way to be endearing, and get the job done. It's not a difficult job. I'll say that. Listen, I can't do it. But it's probably not the most difficult job in Hollywood. It's probably one of the least difficult jobs in Hollywood. I just, it was fine. It was a weird movie because, again, pirates. Where did they come from?
I mean...
And then there were many of them.
Did they come from the Caribbean?
No, actually. They came from Bali.
Wow.
And if I explain more, then I will give it away. But...
I think you've explained quite enough.
No, because it turns out that somebody in the wedding party is involved with the stick-up.
Sure.
But
keep telling us more. Why not? I'm sure all of our listeners and watchers are very excited about the J-Lo Prime Video movie.
It was like, okay, what is this? But, I had time that day, and so I...
You wasted it.
No, I actually think it was one of the days I wasn't feeling well, and I just...
Did that make you feel better?
No.
I didn't think so, but I figured I'd ask.
I just was...
Because they say you should never assume.
I was just there to be there, and that's what I did.
You only showed up so you don't get fined.
Right, I showed up.
Did the J-Lo show up?
I think that's kind of the point that I'm making. Does J-Lo really have to show up in order to do the
I will
movie
say she
does?
did well in El Cantante, the movie with her and Mark Anthony about Hector Lavoe.
Oh, yeah.
She did good in there. But also, I'm going to be honest, I feel like because it was kind of easy to play some shit you already been through. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
but I also really loved her.
And there was another movie she was good in. What's the movie? Oh, well, yes. God, that's her.
That's like one of my top 10 movies of all the time.
Really? That's really interesting.
Yeah.
You should so do like a breakdown of that on another maybe social specific video.
It's amazing film.
It's a good film.
It's amazing.
I don't disagree. Yeah, those are probably her two best performances, of all time.
But because that was when J-Lo was like trying to be
Yeah, that was her breakout role.
She was trying to be an actress.
That was her breakout role.
J-Lo today, J-Lo in Shotgun Wedding is like I said, J-Lo goes, Ben's boring, so I think I'll do a movie.
All right.
And she calls her agent and she goes,
What you got?
let me know what you got. Give me a nice, easy rom-com. Words I can remember.
Right.
I'll be there.
That's it.
Tell me how long I gotta be on set. Because Ben is boring.
Got it.
And she goes and she does it and then that's it. Listen, when she did Made in Manhattan many years ago, or what was the other one?
I don't know.
She did that one with the dude from Wedding Crashers. Oh, I also watched Wedding Crashers last night.
Wedding Crashers is the shit.
I also watched
Wedding Crashers is, I know that whole movie by heart.
I needed a palate cleanser after Magic Mike.
And that was a great selection.
So I watched Wedding Crashers.
Great selection. Even from the opening scene when they're doing the... when he looks at her and says, why don't you suck my left nut? I was just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, the first time watching that, and I saw it in theaters, I was like,
and what?
Yo.
And what is the line? Shut up when you're talking to me?
She says, you shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Yo, best shit ever. The whole room is just like,
huh?
Wait, what?
What did you just say?
How carry the one,
right?
And divide by 2. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah.
That shit. And then this nigga is like, I mean, if y'all want to throw some miles at us, we'll even take some miles. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know, my favorite part of that opening scene, I could do a whole part about Wedding Crashers alone. Mm-hmm. My favorite part from that scene is when he's like, yeah, go out there and get some strange ass. It's like, yo, son, what are you talking about? Yo, that movie is a fucking classic.
My favorite part is when Vince Vaughn's character, when they get found out, and he's like, I'm taking the painting home with me. It was a gift.
Oh, yeah. He's like, and he stole my painting. He's like, I didn't steal it. You gave it to me. It's a gift. I'm taking it. Nah, that scene is wild.
And when the granny comes out with the shotgun.
Yo.
Yeah.
Shit was crazy.
It's a great movie.
He flips on the priest. He's like, I told you that in confession. That was a confession.
And the priest is like...
And the priest is like, I mean, these my niggas.
Right.
They pay for the whole church.
Exactly.
Yo, that movie is a classic. He's like, yo, you don't understand. Last night, I had my sock stuffed in my mouth. Not just any sock, the one we played football in. The one I sweated in all day. I could do this for another 2 hours. I know the entire film by heart.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, I need to watch something that
that was a
seen
great
before,
choice.
something I know, something
Great
that
choice.
will, you know. And I could have like gone back to one of my black girl shows or whatever, but I was like, let me watch something different. You know, since white men is the theme of the night,
might as well keep it there. Right?
Might as well stick to the theme.
In fact, going back to the Super Bowl, last night there was a catch that one of the receivers did for the Eagles. That was a great catch, and Tez jumped up and said, "Crab cakes in football. That's what Maryland does." And I was like, "Yes, there we go."
That's funny.
And my dad was just looking like, "Huh?
What are you?"
But
guys
this is
talking
not
about?
Maryland. We're in
it's
Arizona. We're in not Arizona. I'm not gonna say where I live, but it's like we're not in Arizona, and it's the Eagles and the Chiefs. I was like, it's from a movie. Don't worry about it. Yeah, crab cakes and football. That's what Maryland does.
That's what Maryland does. And on that note,
we're out of here.
We're out of here.
Thank you for joining us once again. Thank you again for being here this year. And we look forward to bringing y'all more super hot fire for this new year, our second year. This has been Let's Have a Real Conversation. And if you made it all the way to these end credits, thank you very much for possibly our longest pod ever.
Yeah.
Love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Crab cakes and football.